Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to be what if Goku and the Z-Fighters were the perfect warriors. In this one, I'm basically going to be giving them traits that I think could make them perfect fighters. For Goku and Vegeta, I'm basically giving them the same thing as, in my opinion, I think Vegeta is a very good definition of what a warrior should be. The fact that he grew up as a Saiyan, aka a warrior. Only difference is that their personality and their body would be a slight bit of a change. So, now I write this down, what's going to make Goku so potent. Keep in mind, it goes the same for Vegeta. So, he would have hybrid potential comparable to Gohan or Goten. Even though Gohan is said to have the most potential, Goten is I think it's just like Toriyama isn't planning each power boost in the series ahead. If he was, Gohan would probably have the Super Saiyan 3 transformation already, even though he didn't train as often. So, along hybrid potential, I'm not just going to say Gohan, Broly, or Goten, I'm just going to say hybrid. Goku and Vegeta would also have pure progress. You heard that right? Pure progress. Sure, they have Zenkai boosts, things like that, but they have pure progress on top of that now. So they can grow in battle, in training, and after injuries. They can grow those three ways. Now, they're also born with an abundance of S cells, plus enhanced biology, to the point where their tail is not a biological weakness. So their tail, if you grab it, will not do nothing to them. It will just allow them to wrap their tail around your arm and crush it. It's just that easy. They have auto mastery over their tail, their Ozaru form, and they can control their same instincts and their lust for battle. Goku, a slight change for him that he's born in elite class Saiyan, power level roughly around, I would say, 4,000 around there. So that's a big difference for him. Then they have the perfect battle IQ, balance with a strong moral compass. Kind of like a fusion of Bardock and Guinei's personality, or Bardock and Guinei's attributes. Guinei's personality with Bardock's battle IQ and intuition. And then they have an affinity for things like martial arts, spirit control, ki, etc. And all that goes for Vegeta, except for Born Elite, where Vegeta's already born elite. He's an elite child, or a royal child. But yeah, now let's begin. So, Goku crash lands on Earth in year 737, or year 739. I just want to go there, and he ends up being taken in by Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan takes him in, and eventually it leads to Grandpa Gohan's taking him in, and it leads to Goku actually not killing him, because Goku he can control his Ozaru. It's kind of just a by nature thing he can do. But also he's able to start training to train his Ozaru into his base form, aka Unleashing Wrathful. Oh, excuse me. Another ability he has at this point is, in fact, he trains basically every day and more. Pure progress is getting the better of him by a lot. It's a very handy ability. Point where he doesn't. Let's pause real quick. So, sorry about that. I can get rid of my hiccups. Alright, so the time that Goku would actually set sail, this is not One Piece, set off with Bulma, after Gohan would tell him to do so, and Bulma arrives, Dragon Radar and all that. Gohan tells Goku, go with the girl and make sure she doesn't get hurt in the Dragon Balls. Goku's probably around this time around 20,000. That's just how strong he is. And by the way, anytime I talk about how strong Goku is, Vegeta is roughly on the same level, if not a tad bit lower, because Goku trains far more often. So, yeah. But him and Bulma fly around, in the Dragon Balls, he's flying with her, he has Infinity 4 Ki abilities. But eventually they do bring the turtle to Kame House, and they meet Roshi. I'm going to talk about how I made Bulma perfect. For Bulma, her IQ for technology is basically unmatched across every universe, currently existing and now erased ones. But also the point where even some angels would not be able to think of things that she makes. And she uses a mech very similar to Officer Black's battle jacket. She uses a very similar mech, but hers is much better, much more refined, much more sleek looking, but it's more durable. And it's more powerful, all that. It's basically Officer Black's battle jacket, but 10 times better. But we keep going until we get to Roshi. And Roshi, when they meet him, he's actually a young person. I'm gonna give an example. Hold up. Roshi kind of has this look going on right now, but instead of his gi being purple, it's orange. We're not only going to see. I think it might be a trunk sum. I'm not sure, but it's not purple. It's orange. Okay. So with this one, the reason Roshi's young is because creatures the herb that he ingests. It grants him eternal life, but also eternal youth. He's constantly in his prime. But then, to affect that Roshi's age, in this one, he trained with Kami for a brief amount of time. A brief amount of time. Maybe like a month or so. It was enough for him to pick up a few abilities, but not enough for him to the point where he's like a master of anything. But he did learn and gain magical and spiritual awareness, being aware of spirit control, being able to use a bit of magic, and he created Kamehameha varieties, which I have a list of right here. I just need to pull it up. Yay. Alright, list is pulled up. Kamehameha is that Roshi would have the original, the max power one, but he has two versions of. Max power is what I believe what he uses in base, but not base, I mean in his muscular form. But Roshi can do a very similar power, like a equally powered one in his base form. Like, he can basically do everything up to like the greatest Kamehameha in base form. And then when he buffs up, it gets stronger. He can do Kamehameha return, deflection, Tenshinhan developed that technique, but Roshi would do so in this one because he trained more often, especially with Kami for a month. He has the reverse Kamehameha, which, yeah, the bending one, the barrage, the one-handed, yeah, he has a lot of stuff like that. But we keep going, and eventually leads to Roshi suggesting that he fights with Goku. And this one, Roshi didn't even want to flash him. I'm kind of toning down his perviness a little bit. This is kind of just one of the fact he's a very suave person, but he's very bad at doing it. So, yeah. But Goku and Roshi fight, and Goku is actually appropriate height for his age. He's like maybe like an inch or two taller. So, yeah. But that basically adds a tiny bit of reach, and he shows off his superior physical strength to Roshi. Also how he's a master martial artist as well, as Goku had already mastered the Turtle Hermit style. Remember, Roshi sees this up close, as Turtle Hermit martial arts skill is not unrivaled, but definitely closing in on Roshi's. Roshi even takes a few blows to the arm, and realizes his arm is cracking under the hits. Goku's holding back because he doesn't want to shatter Roshi's arm, but even then he's not gonna willingly lose this fight. Now eventually this does lead to Roshi just saying he quits as he doesn't want his arm to break. But he just tells Goku good job, and then allows him to take the Dragon Ball. Now, eventually Goku flies off again, Bulma using Battle Jacket to fly herself, and Goku just sits on it. But eventually they meet Oolong. I didn't have a way to make Oolong strong, but the way I did it, I kind of was ripping off Misako X. I don't feel like doing that, because I think that'd be a very obvious thing if you've watched his what ifs and mine. Plus, he can't really communicate, or I can't really communicate how good my stuff is in the way he can communicate his. But, yeah. So they meet Oolong, then they meet Yamcha, and this is where another change occurs. Yamcha in this one is a coyote animal man. Guys may be wondering, why isn't he a wolf? I have a reason for that. Now, Yamcha claims to be a wolf. In reality, he's never met another coyote. He's only met wolves. And he also tries to act like, you know, like he is one. Eventually he'll learn, but he thinks wolves are cooler, so he tries to claim he's a wolf. But anyone who can tell the difference knows very well, you're a coyote. But Yamcha developed Wolf Fang Fist, and then he will also have knowledge of how to use ki, things like that. He's not really good at firing off Ki Blast, but he can imbue his body with Ki, including his claws. And when they make his Wolf Fang Fist much stronger. Having claws alone was basically a major bonus, but then his enhanced strength made it even better. For Poir can also use Ki, and has a bit of magic, being magic materialization, like everyone else does. And then they can also transform into things like cannons, and then fire off Ki-imbued cannonballs, or just cannonballs of Ki. So Poir is a lot stronger as well. Not a lot, but can fight. By the time it comes down to, like, let's say them getting, like Bulma, Goku, Yamcha, let's say when it comes down to, like, I'm gonna go Fire Mountain first. When it comes to that, and it's like Ox King asking, like, hey, can any of you extinguish this mountain? Goku already knows how to use Ki to a basic degree, go on talking about do it canonically. Goku fires off one Ki blast at full power, and the shockwave alone from that would actually extinguish the mountain. As a thank you, they get the Dragon Ball, and then Bulma doesn't really need, like, she just needs new clothes. She doesn't really need a car. She has the battle jacket. So Ox King gives her some money. They get clothes, and then eventually they end up coming across the I think next up would be the Rabbit Gang, or the Carrot Mob, one of those two names. It's the Rabbit Mob, and when it comes to them, Goku still trains them on the moon. So yeah, it's just a lot easier this time around. And Pilaf would still trap Goku, Bulma, Oolong, and Yamcha and Poir in that one room, like kind of like a cell, I guess, to use the Dragon Balls. Like, he wants to use them, so he traps them. But when he does, well, Goku immediately, when he wakes up, would just look around, walk to the wall, and punch it down. He can physically do that. There's really no one stopping him. Like, there's really nothing that can hold him on Earth aside from like the hyperbolic time chamber. That's kind of about it right now. The walls punch down, and immediately the Dragon team so far rushes out. Oolong's interrupted. Pilaf's interrupted by Oolong, and Poir would shoot off the Ki cannon, and it knocks Mai out of the sky. Oolong uses his own transformation to actually distract Shu. Meanwhile, with Shu subtracted, Yamcha would defeat him, and Bulma makes a wish while Pilaf is just terrified by Goku. So yeah. Instead of the group departing, Bulma actually reveals that she doesn't have school, but in fact she has a company to run. And this is a surprise Goku, Yamcha, Poir, and Oolong of like, wait, you have a company to run? She explains that she's already graduated high school and college a few times. She has a few different degrees. And she actually runs Capsule Corp now. This does surprise Goku and Yamcha and all them, but honestly, at the same time, it doesn't. But this does lead to Bulma heading to Capsule Corp, but also visiting Goku and Yamcha, because Goku and Yamcha kind of grew as sparring partners and, some of their time away. Also Bulma as well, trained with them a little bit with the battle jacket. They grew, and eventually Goku had to train Roshi. And when he trains with Roshi just kind of realizes he doesn't really have much to teach Goku martial arts wise. He sent Goku to Korin. Korin had the same thing as Roshi in a matter of like a week, so he sent Goku up to Kami. So, for around 10 months, he trained under Kami. Which is more than Roshi. Even Kami, while Goku was up there, even told Goku, oh yeah, Roshi is my next option to be Kami, but he's kind of in a slump where he doesn't want to train as much. Hopefully you drag him out of that. Also, Goku did meet Krillin, by the way. But to make Krillin perfect, I'll go over that right now, even though Krillin's perfection will not shine through for the moment. I also have to make Kami perfect as well, because he's a Z-Fighter for now. Krillin is a master of various martial arts to the point where his skill even eclipses Goku, only rivaled by by Roshi and Kami. So that's a very just skilled individual. An affinity for spirit control, Ki martial arts, and he's actually achieved enlightenment to the point where if he were to run his own monastery, he would be the highest person there in terms of rank. But also, with Roshi, we achieve a very similar max power form, but his max power form increases his height and everything, making him actually have a golden cube. He kind of combines Goku from One Piece's Buddha form with Roshi's max power form, and that's kind of what Krillin is. It's that, but no hair. And he can also create shockwaves of, like, the Buddha energy, all that. But, back to the story. So the tournament begins around 10 months later, and the first fight is Krillin versus Bacterium. Or Bacterian. And by the way, Bulma is replacing Ron Fun. I don't think she has a place here. It doesn't really matter. Bulma's actually an actual martial artist. Bulma didn't train as seriously as like Goku and Yamcha did, but she still trains against Battle Jacket. Because the way she trains against it is basically, or trains against it, is that she would kind of auto-program it to do the same moves as her, and she fights against it 24/7. Kind of making sure her body and Battle Jacket are on par, but she can kind of contend its strength, but she can surpass its speed, it can contend her strength, and it has superior durability. So Bulma is able to fight on par, but it does allow her to still be a bit below characters like Goku and Roshi and Krillin. But yeah, so first Krillin versus Bacterian. For this fight, Krillin immediately knows he doesn't have a nose. And Bacterian's thing is smell. Krillin just points to his nose and says, "There's nothing here." Bacterian froze, only to be met with one ki blast, sending him flying out of bounds. Krillin bowed, and then went back out of bounds. Not out of bounds, into the sands, which he was done. Next fight, there's no Jackie Chun, there is Roshi. Roshi is known as the eternally youthful martial artist, and he is a very, very major world champ. Point where he's basically won nearly every world tournament. So with this, when it came down to Goku versus Yamcha, it was actually a pretty close fight, kind of. Roshi's on 20 around Yamcha until she got majorly scratched across the chest, and so he got hit with a mini combo to the face. Roshi gets bearings and very quickly beat Yamcha with like a few kicks, and that did end the fight. Roshi beat the shit out of Yamcha, but he did actually admit that Yamcha was definitely still combative, or partner. Whatever. Next fight is Bulma versus Nam, yeah. And Bulma wins this fight, but barely. Yeah, she's physically strong and fast, just not very skilled. So, Nam did beat her because he's able to take advantage of the fact she's not really a very skilled person, but it was a difficult fight. Bulma did eventually win, in fact she has superior strength, and Nam couldn't take many more hits from her. Pause. Sorry about that. But, yeah, Bulma beat Nam the fact that he couldn't really withstand her hits. Next fight is Goku versus Giran, and Giran's attack may go around Gum. Goku can pretty easily avoid that. It wouldn't be hard for him. So pretty quickly that when Giran would use it, Goku can pretty easily dodge, and with one Kamehameha, he sends Giran flying out of bounds. He didn't really need to charge up more than just a one-handed Kamehameha, and that was a win. So he beat him easily. Next round is Krillin versus Roshi. This ends up in both of them going into their max power forms and clashing. Krillin will show off his strike, his strongest attack, even being the Enlightenment blow. I mean, just a palm hug will stop halfway through, creating shockwaves of ki that begins basically hitting you in your soul. And what it does is basically begins hitting all the evil in your body. Roshi doesn't have much, but there's still a hint of him that's not really like a great, like not good. There's some pervertedness, there's some arrogance, a lot of stuff like that. His body does get injured from this attack, but the fact that Krillin was surprised that Roshi was pretty easily able to withstand it, he's punched clean into solar plexus and knocked out. And Roshi did admit that Krillin was definitely a strong kid. Next round, or next fight, is Goku vs. Bulma, and I don't need to explain how that goes. Goku wins. And then the final fight is Goku vs. Roshi, and here, Roshi's definitely dominating in terms of skill, but Goku can actually react and push Roshi back effortlessly. Point where it goes with Roshi being in his max power form, then Goku would charge up a full power Kamehameha. Roshi tries to do the same as buff form, as they're clashing. Roshi tries to keep pushing. But then Goku shows off why he is strongest on Earth. By increasing his ki output to a level so high that Roshi got just caught up in the entire blast, and when it disperses, Roshi's body is just steaming, and he's back in his base form before just collapsing. With that, Goku wins. I guess wondering why he won this tournament. Simply because the lesson that Roshi would want to teach him here, Gohan could have taught him, or Kami would have taught him. That easy. Now, let's move on to the Red Ribbon Army Saga. This one, the Goku has a standing relationship with Kami. Goku got a request from Kami to do so. Like, hey, don't really let these guys use their Dragon Balls. Like, I'm going to go and stop them because they're, the wish orbs are meant to be gathered by whoever wants to make a wish. My preference, though, is that you stop them. He was like, alright, got it. So he enlists the help of Bulma and Yamcha to make this go faster. While Krillin sits it out, claiming he doesn't want to be involved right now. And he wants to continue training with Roshi in their max power forms. Pause. Sorry about that. So Goku enlists Yamcha and Bulma's help, mainly because Bulma has nothing better to do, and she actually she did develop a stronger version of her battle jacket, kind of modeled after Roshi's max power form. And Yamcha was just kind of just bored training Orochi all day, because he kind of felt embarrassed after losing to him in the tournament. But Goku and Bulma first end up helping Nam's village, as Bulma is just really rich, so she just does it willingly because she admired how strong Nam was. And she did ask him to train her a little bit, because she needs a little refresher skill-wise. But instead, things still does play out with Goku accidentally promising to marry Chi-Chi, but in the guise of, like, he's in a rush and just said whatever. He just didn't know. He just was in a rush and just said, yeah, whatever, and flew off. So, wasn't really smart, but that's what happened. But eventually, we do get to Kami giving everyone directions, and this leads to Bulma heading to Jingle Village. Yamcha heads to Colonel Silver, and Goku, when it comes down to Dragon Ball, Kami just tells him there's one at the bottom of the ocean. So Goku pretty quickly just flew the bottom of the ocean in like a split second. Every appearance with a Dragon Ball, he literally can also just blast the ocean with ki and split it, and that'd be an easy way to find it. There's really not much that this arc entails. I can go over like who Bulma could fight in Muscle Tower, which let me just pull that up real quick. I have a list of all arcs and fights. Alright, tournament, Runami Saga. There. Bulma fights Major Metallatron, Ninja Murasaki, then her and Ader could fight Bouillon. Then she would fight General White. She would defuse Husky's bomb, and yeah. So when it comes to Major Metallatron, Bulma's battle jacket, well, she doesn't call it that, but that's the only name I can think of. She can literally just punch it to pieces in one go. She's able to do that. Or just fire a ki blast and erase it. Or just shock it and depower it. There's so many ways to defeat it that she can just literally pick one and it'll be down in one shot. And the same goes for Ninja Murasaki, where he's just not a strong person to Bulma. Like, he can throw all the ki eyes he wants, or all the ki blasts, or not, actually doesn't use ki, he uses Shuriken, and I think that's it. He can use all Shuriken he wants. It'll just bounce off the battle jacket or shatter. So Bulma pretty easily beats him. Then when it comes to her and Ader vs. Bouillon, when it came to Bouillon, Bulma quite literally just realized what's going on, so she just punched the wall open, and then Bouillon froze. With General White cannot do a single thing because Bulma's battle jacket. She just literally just blasted a single ki blast and erased him. That easy. And then for the Dragon Radar, it's not broken. Bulma just let's say it is. Let's say like, it dropped in her battle jacket and it shattered or cracked. So she gets that fixed by the good scientists in Jingle Village. She defuses Husky's bomb by quite literally just like knocking out Husky, walking over, and fusing it in like a matter of seconds. And Husky's a bit confused, so Bulma calls her an idiot for using her own technology. As Bulma holds up the Council Court logo, and then points to her true battle jacket. Husky just face palms, calling it bad luck. You know what, Yamcha? He's walking around the forest, actually eating the monkeys that hang out with them. Like before, he's a coyote person. He's a bit different. But Colonel Silver would actually disrupt his meal, and he calls Colonel Silver a bastard. So Silver tries to fight him, thinking he wants to fight, but Yamcha with one-handed Kamehameha would pretty quickly defeat his entire army for interrupting his meal. So Silver tries to cover with the bazooka, but Yamcha just smack it out of the air and into the sky. Silver is then met with Yamcha growling for biting at him, and then the screen cuts to black for Colonel Silver. Roshi never lends Bulma, Goku, or Krillin a submarine because Goku just flew in the ocean at top speed, and he never really met Captain White, or not Captain White, General Blue, and I don't know why I said that. While traveling, Bulma does eventually meet Dr. Slump and Arale, and while she has nothing better to do at the moment, well, she decides to train with Arale. And eventually Yamcha and Puar do join in because they eventually find her after flying around for a bit, because Goku did teach them the basics of that as well. So, Bulma ended up training her battle jacket against Arale, including also doing her own basic workouts. Then Yamcha and Puar join in with Bulma, so she has something to train while in her battle jacket, but also in her base state. Tao is eventually still hired, but in this one, when Tao's had to kill Bora, well, Goku got there just in time. He can sense Ki. He's turning Kami already. So Goku arrived right as Tao had arrived at the same time, and it ends up in a quick clash. Tao's kick versus Goku's. But when Tao and Goku's legs collide, Tao howled in pain, holding his shin that had audibly shattered. Tao hopped back on his one leg, but he quickly just met flurry of punches, sending him flying back. And then Goku stomped on the ground, launching Tao into the air, and with one just charged up Ki blast, it would vaporize vaporize Tao. Though there wasn't really much Tao could do against that. Now we keep moving until we get to the trio arriving at the Red Ribbon Army base. When they arrive, they see a very familiar, or they sense a very familiar Ki presence. The entire base is burning, Commander Red is defeated, or dead, they can't tell. And Krillin and Roshi are already there. And Roshi just says they got bored instead of sitting around and watching them, or sensing them having fun. And Krillin's currently in his enlightened state, punching what was his name? Staff Officer Black, just like sitting on the chest, punching him in the face, saying, "We wanted our own fun." He would just nod, saying, "Yeah, got it." Next up is the fortune teller Baba Saga. Now Baba does think that she does still intend to have the tournament, but Goku just says you can beat everyone on his own. I feel like he's just being arrogant. He said, "I beat Roshi. Korin thought I was too strong. I'm currently training under Kami." As he shows off the back of his gi with the Kami logo. Baba's jaw is dropped that he beat Roshi, and she actually knows how strong Roshi is. She knows how strong her brother is. So she has to find a lot more competitors to hopefully beat this person. Hopefully they beat him. And at this point, Goku's roughly around the level of he's like Zarbon level at this point. So he's a lot stronger than most characters in the series. So Goku's first fight is versus Fangs the Vampire. And when Fang tried to launch at Goku, all he did is hold a single orb of Ki and flared it so bright like the sun. Fangs hopped back, only to met a quick punch, though the Ki ball had dispersed, sending him flying out of bounds. It wasn't really the real sun, it wasn't as hard as the sun, it clearly just blinded him and he had to jump away from it. And then he jumped away, Goku dispersed it and punched him in the face, sending him flying out of bounds. Or just knocking him out, one of the two. So it's that easy. And for, See-Through the Invisible Man, pretty sure his name's actually just See-Through. All Goku did is really just repeat the same tactic with, the Ki ball was very bright, and then squeezed it, and he followed the yell. Then he was sent the Ki, followed the person, and with one well-placed uppercut, he would knock out See-Through. Then Bane introduced the mummy. When it came to that fight, all he did is fly around him, grab the bandages and trying to unravel them. Bandages plead for mercy, only to Goku to rewrap them, but also rewrap them around his head, and then shove him down, and he could not move anymore. So then Goku won that fight. Spike the Devil Man, Goku held out a single finger and blasted him out of bounds, or just through a wall. Spike, Goku would have passed with the Devil Might Beam immediately, but that would not have mattered. A single finger blast from Goku would have won him in the fight anyway. But now, when it comes down to the final round, it's a group of men. Or, not just men, but warriors. About 7. And they're called the Fox Mask Hebdomad, which is a group of people. One of the men has a very similar haircut to Goku, but they also all have tails. One woman, though, seems to carry a butcher knife, while the rest of them carry just nothing. They have their fists and their tails. Goku just smirked as he looked at Bardock and Gine. He knew who they were immediately, but he never hit his head. He wasn't a rowdy child who fell off of Gohan's shoulders as a kid. Gohan's alive for one, so he wouldn't be here regardless. But when he hit Bardock and Gine, he remembers them vividly. He kind of smirked upon seeing them, and immediately the fight started. He appeared right behind Bardock and Gine with their masks in his hand. Bardock and Gine were just surprised that Goku was just this fast, but Bardock kind of chuckled, saying, "He was born an elite. I'm not expecting any less of this, or any less than that from him." Gine wanted to cry, but Goku just pulled her and Bardock into a hug and asked who everyone else was. Bardock says that that's his squad. So we end up seeing all of them take off their masks. So, pretty sure it's Fasha, Shugesh, Tora, or Taro. I'm not sure. Fasha, Borgos, Shugesh. I'm trying to memorize their names. Fuck. Tora, Shugesh, Borgos, Fasha, Bardock, and Gine. That's all of them. So eventually with that, once Goku learned all their names, this ends up into another fight. As they fight, Goku is being jumped, so he's actually he's still able to fight pretty well, but they're still very much a dangerous opponent for him because of how strong they all are. But eventually he does power up to his maximum form, and actually this maximum form should out to actually be Ozaru Wrath, or the Wrathful State. And with that, he pretty much landed a single strike on Bardock that shattered his armor and knocked him out. And as a farewell gift, he would end up wrapping his bandana around Goku's head. This leads to Baba just saying, "God damn it," and sending Goku on his way. And he's a Dragon Ball. But he's a bit beat up after the fight because he was just jumped and overwhelmed with emotion. So he was kind of a cheap move by Baba to do that, but he still won. Alright, now we move on to the 3 years of training. Or it's 3-year time skip. At this point, Goku, Roshi, and Krillin all train under Kami. Yamcha trains with Korin, as he was told to start there by Kami. Bulma still trains with Arale, but her battle jacket gets upgraded by Dr. Slump and her father. She kind of employed Dr. Slump to do so. But Arale and Bulma kind of train in base because they both having fun doing so. And Bulma also learned the basics of Turtle style as Roshi wrote down a scroll for her when she didn't want to train with Korin or Kami. So, yeah. But they'll also be developing prototypes for gravity training. And Arale is the one who tests the gravity each time. Now, we go on to the 22nd tournament. And so when Roshi doesn't even bother participating, handing a spot over to Bulma, who had grown a lot in these 3 years. Yeah, at this point, Goku's like roughly around, try to get like a number. Actually, not a number. I'll have to get like a character comparison. I compare him in power to Ginyu now. He's around Ginyu's level. And the rest of Z-Fighterz, there's like Roshi in base, roughly around Nail level. I'd go probably not, this seems a little too high. I'd go Vegeta. So yeah, Roshi around Vegeta level, and that's in his max power state. Krillin in his max power state is roughly a bit below that, at around Goku, fresh off King Kai's planet. And Bulma in base is around Nappa level. So yeah, well, Yamcha himself is training Korin, and he did learn a lot there. Born Upa's tribe helping him train as well. And that brought him to roughly equal to Bulma. He's either training more than just them, but Kami didn't really offer him full-on teachings because he wasn't really skilled enough for that. But the tournament, first fight is Goku versus King Chappa, and Goku quickly just jumped and drop kick him out of bounds. Also, I forgot to mention why Roshi isn't participating. Roshi just openly said to the crowd over a microphone that Goku had far surpassed him, so he's not fighting to lose again. He kind of laughed at the remark. Roshi left his own remark, but just said he's not fighting to lose again, and he wishes Goku the best of luck against these new competitors. Alright, now back to the tournament. Goku versus King Chappa. Goku he did a single drop kick and won. It was just that easy to him. King Chappa is not a strong character. Yamcha fights Tien, and Yamcha puts absolute hands on him. It was not in his favor whatsoever. Like, Yamcha can use ki, he's absurdly durable, he's fast, he's strong, all that. So even if Tien did manage to land a hit, Yamcha is not phased. And Tien is scratched over and over again to the point where his body is just covered in blood, and he eventually does just quit because he's losing a lot of blood as well. Next fight is Bulma versus Wolfman, and she just looks at Yamcha, who points to like the snout and just kind of mouths, "Punch it." Oh, the Wolfman threw one punch, Bulma would just duck it and punch him right in the snout, and with a howl, he runs out of bounds, holding his badly disfigured snout. And Yamcha just laughs, saying that's almost every animal's weakness. Next fight is Krillin versus Chaozu, and Chaozu can use all the telepathy he wants. Krillin can use it too. He trained under Kami, and Krillin would specialize in that. Chaozu would use telepathy, Krillin would do it back. And Krillin's pure enlightenment will actually make Chaozu just forfeit. He cannot handle Krillin's mind. It's just so bright. Not like he's smart, it's quite literally just like him, his mind illuminating as bright as the sun does, if not brighter. Chaozu cannot stand that, it hurts. Chaozu was trying to balance, like rubbing his eyes, he could not see. Next fight is Goku versus Pamput, and he wins that fight with a single attack. Then Bulma versus Yamcha's next fight, and they're relative, but Bulma is still not as skilled as Yamcha is, and that allows me the edge over her. Just superior strength and durability, Yamcha has better speed and skill, and that will allow him to win, but barely. The finals is Goku versus Yamcha. But Goku tries to Kamehameha, and Yamcha do the same. Their attacks launch, they collide, and Goku beats Yamcha pretty easily. Now what we're celebrating, Yamcha is actually helping Tien patch up his wounds, and Tien's questioning why, like, aren't you student Orochi? But Yamcha points to his badge on his shirt and just says, I'm student Korin. Shen overheard that, like, what's your student Korin? And Orochi kind of laughs, saying, like, he walks over saying, yeah, only students have long outgrown me. Like, yeah, Bulma, she's not even my student, she's just a friend of a student, and she's pretty cool to hang out with. With Bulma, you can wear a gi. She just wears a purple cheongsam, and that's about it. Then with Goku, his gi just says Kami, Roshi's gi just says Roshi, and Krillin says Kami. He shows surprise and understands why he lost. He's like, the two of them are students of God. I'm not surprised. And he already knew Roshi trained under Kami at some point. He's not surprised about Roshi doing it. But yeah. Now, we do get Krillin being attacked by Tambourine, but Krillin sensed him immediately. So Tambourine arrived and fought him. Krillin fought back and managed to actually shoot Tambourine away. And as Tambourine is flying off, he does have an injured wing. This begins the Demon King Piccolo saga. For that, Krillin finds Tambourine having a rematch. And that rematch consists of Krillin going into his max power state using the Enlightenment blow, and that completely vaporizes Tambourine. He's pure evil, and it just specifically targets evilness. Tambourine is killed immediately by Krillin. Yajirobe is introduced here, and actually pretty easily kills Symbol, a lot easier than Kanan, because Yajirobe is a Z-Fighter, a stronger one. I just realized I forgot to cover what made Kami a perfect fighter. I'll do that when I introduce Piccolo. But Yajirobe, what makes him perfect is his sword mastery, his Keyblade, and the fact he's a trained doctor. With that right Keyblade, he can use that on his hand, or he can just coat his blade in Ki and send air slashes out. For Blade 13 and Chaozu, they're also perfect. But their abilities were not able to be shown until they fought Drum. For Tien, he has mastered his Tricops powers, being that he can use the far-seeing arts, he can use a bit of spirit control for cloning, and for which is a technique. Also, he can basically just do telepathy on a very high level. Plus he has his affinity for spirit control and basic magic, and he can use elements such as lightning, ice, and fire. And for Chaozu, he has the abilities of a Jiangshi, where he already has natural flight, but he actually drain energy. Along being able to transform into anything, including a much bigger version of himself that can drain more ki at a time. And then telekinesis and telepathy are also absurdly strong, but Krillin's a stronger at the moment because Chaozu never trained his telepathy or telekinesis. So yeah. But yeah, so Joe being the killing it, eating symbol pretty easily, and Yonchul, who met him because he was just sniffing around for Demon King Piccolo, he has his nose to the ground like an actual dog. We found Yajirobe, they laugh about this for a second, and then they end up, Yamcha ends up sensing the fight between Roshi and Demon King Piccolo, but Demon King Piccolo is old right now. So with this, King Piccolo fights Roshi, and Roshi's pretty easily dogging him with really no effort. Like, at the beginning of the story, Roshi had already surpassed Kami, and that's just as like a base power for him. So he's already showing King Piccolo at the beginning of the story, this is just no effort, when he's as strong as Vegeta now. Now eventually King Piccolo's just punched in the head so hard that his neck snapped. As he hit the ground, he does weakly spit out an egg, but kind of came across the ground. As the egg dribbled out of his mouth, Roshi just yanked it out, and then ended up killing Piccolo. Now Kami in this one is inherently good, so here's all of his abilities that made him a perfect warrior. Kami in this one is inherently good. If you guys are wondering what I mean by that, he's born with basically less than 10% evil, but very little 5% is what Demon King Piccolo is. He's not very evil. He's just a dick. It's kind of all he is. He's a dickhead. Not even the Demon King. He's just, I am the great Piccolo. So yeah. So with this one, Kami also has mastery over magic and spirit control, but he needs to spirit control into techniques aside from cloning and size control. So he has his magic and size control down. Well, for spirit control, he has size control and transmutation and cloning down, and healing actually. He's pretty good at magic, where he's probably as good as Baba is, if not better. He knows every deity except for the actual angels, like the Whis and the Shinkan angels. He doesn't know about those. He only knows about King Yama's angels. He knows about those. He also knows about Shin, Kibito, Beerus, all them, and he knows about the other universes. But also, he has mastered every martial art on Earth, and I mean every martial art. And then, in this one, I'm going to go over to how Piccolo, or how Kami would treat the egg. Kami doesn't want to steal the egg. He actually believes he can teach the evil out of the egg, because Kami knows he was not really that evil. In fact, Piccolo's not even evil, he's just a pain in the ass. That's all he is. So, Kami decides he can raise the egg, because it's not really going to be evil. So once Piccolo comes out of his egg, he is basically a fusion of a warrior Namekian, Dragon Clan Namekian, but also a demon Namekian. So, with that, Kami would actually realize that Piccolo is basically, he doesn't know what a Namekian is, but he knows that he basically has the abilities of Piccolo and the demons, and then Kami. With this, Kami is training all his abilities that he can, but also Piccolo would show off the ability to basically control his body. To the point where he can grow wings, he can grow extra arms, all that kind of stuff. But also create bio armor. And he seems to have an affinity for magic, kind of loving magic materialization. But now we go on into the 3 years of training. By this point, Bulma had already fully developed gravity training during those 3 years. And Goku's the one who uses it the most, alongside Roshi. Now they all, like Goku, Bulma, Tien, Chaozu, Roshi, occasionally Piccolo, Yamcha, and Krillin, they all go back and forth with the gravity chamber. The ones who use it the most often are Goku and Roshi. Also, Roshi has used the time chamber a lot at this point. Not a lot, but has used it. He's used up his time in there, basically. He's used up all the time he has in there. And that makes him a lot stronger, to the point where he actually had surpassed Goku briefly. But then when he fought Goku for the first time, after emerging, Goku had long surpassed him. So, yeah. Not long surpassed him. He surpassed him mid-fight. At this point, Roshi is on par in his max power form with second form Frieza, and Goku's roof will be, and Goku's about like par or relative to the third form. Yeah. I don't know why. Anytime I talk about Frieza's forms, I'm not confident in the forms. I cannot help it. I'm not confident in them. I don't know why. I just have to look at the forms to make sure I'm not missing any. Pause. Yeah, Goku is relative to Frieza's third form, the one that looks like a xenomorph. He's relative to that. And Roshi's relative to his like more mature form, the one that has him looking like King Cold. The 23rd tournament. I don't think I need to cover how that ends. Goku wins, and not really trying. He won still. But now, peacetime. Goku still marries Chi-Chi, and they have Gohan, but Goku explains Saiyan nature and about the tail, how it needs to be trained. So with this, Chi-Chi agrees to let Gohan split his time between studying and training. Not realizing, like, none of them realized that Gohan had a natural affinity to control his tail pretty easily. They thought that he learned fast. But some Gohan already showed that he liked training, so Chi-Chi didn't want to take that away from him, even though she wanted him to be more scholarly than, martial artist. But seeing how happy he was with martial arts, she didn't want to take it away from him. And more importantly, Roshi became Kami. Like, Roshi is the new Kami already. With this, Roshi's the new Kami would have basically upgraded everything on the lookout. But the Dragon Balls turned to stone because Kami and Piccolo fuse. Piccolo being basically a combination of all like types of Namekians, with all of his ki, not all of his ki, but with what knowledge he has of magic utilization, but also his Dragon Clan abilities, he creates a new set of Dragon Balls. And he creates only 3. These 3 scatter across the earth, Roshi having one going somewhere unknown, and the other one basically going to the deepest depths of the ocean. Piccolo can just sense it. The other one, he has no idea where it went. These 3 basically all grant, together they grant 3 wishes, and they're about as powerful as Paronga, if not a tad bit above him. But they're not as strong as Trumbo or anything like that yet. So yeah. This time, the gravity training, all of that. And by the time the Raditz arrives, Goku's roughly about... I'd compare him to like his 60% form. I'd compare him to maybe that in base. But also, Goku's abundance of S cells finally kicked in. He unlocked Super Saiyan. As for Roshi, he's about a bit behind, but he can contend base form Frieza, or base third form, or base final form Frieza. So not full power, but the standard form that they first meet. And then Piccolo's about on par with that, and then there's the Z-Fighters are roughly about like Ginyu level. So when Raditz arrives, well, he still ends up being stupid and tries to kidnap Gohan. But Gohan at this point has probably equal to Nappa. So when he's picked up by his tail, Gohan freaked out and punched Raditz right in the ribs, shattering his armor and breaking a few ribs. He got off to blood wobbling, and Gohan, still kind of freaked out, we yell at him and begin wailing on him, point where Goku just like holds his hands up saying, Gohan, you got him, never mind, you keep going, I guess, ignore me. But then, Raditz is just a bloody pulp and knocked out. And over Scouter, they actually hear laughing, and Snappa just says, did the kid beat his ass? But she tries to hold back laughing, saying, I think so, Nappa. Yeah, I think so. Raditz overheard that, grabbing the Scouter, shattering it, saying, to hell with all of you. He flies up in the air, trying to turn up a double Sunday, but Gohan, still freaked out, would just yell Kamehameha. He just yells, Kamehameha, and blasts apart Raditz. Because he's so freaked out by a grown man trying to kidnap him. So they didn't even get an understanding of who he was. Like he's like, oh, Kakarot. He's like, that's my name. How do you know it? And he's like, wait, what? He's a bit back and forth. Kidnaps Gohan. Gohan freaks out and then beats him up, then kills him. So yeah, and Gohan's like panting, freaking out after killing Raditz because it was just so sudden. But we keep going until we get to King Kai warning them that the Saiyans are coming, being Vegeta and Nappa. But in this one, I'm talking about how strong Vegeta is. Now, I just said earlier that however strong I say Goku is, Vegeta's either about equal or not far behind. This point in base, Goku is a bit like on the level that he is probably like the big in Namek. He's on par with his Namek self already, if not a bit above that. Vegeta, not so much. In fact, actually, I'd probably compare him to like base form Frieza. He's around there, but that's about it. I'm talking about like first form Frieza. He's around there. And then Nappa is a bit like canon Vegeta, basically. But King Kai actually tells them like, hey, if you guys need a bit of extra prep, you can always send people here. You can send 3. And he's communicating with Roshi. Roshi says, can I go? I think it'd be important for me to learn other deities, so why not? So, using some magic, Roshi transports himself, Goku and Piccolo, to King Yama's office. King Yama says he's going to meet Roshi, even though he always evades him, as he kind of just winks. And he gives him some access to the Snake Way. The moment they step foot on the Snake Way, they vanish and reappear on King Kai's planet, just how fast they had moved. King Kai laughs at how easy that was for them, and the training commenced. We end up seeing a little montage of Goku squatting like giant like 8-ton plates. Leads to Piccolo practicing Kaioken and Roshi practicing Spirit Bomb. By the end of it, though, they eventually all learn every ability, but they all have their own specialty. Goku being everything, Piccolo being Kaioken, and Roshi being Spirit Bomb. Also, while he was here, he actually asked King Yama to meet Bardock and Gine again, and told them about Raditz and what happened. Which actually make Gine and Bardock felt bad, but Bardock was like visibly like stifling a laugh after hearing about Raditz. And he did promise to ask like so they can be brought back to meet Gohan someday. And Gine says essentially like that. She also find Raditz and force him to apologize. Which he said they don't need to do that. Also, as for reviving him, he did actually suggest that, but King Yama kind of said point blank, no. Like, hey, your father's a bad person. Like, he's nice to you. He killed thousands. No, not happening. Ever in your life. No. If you guys are wondering about Vegeta turns into a good person later. Bardock has not shown that. He's just shown he's a moderate father now. Alright, but we keep going until we get to a year later where where Vegeta and Nappa arrive. When they arrive, they don't arrive in a city, they land in a desert. Get out of their pods, and immediately Z-Fighterz all think they're in a fight, even Goku's nearby watching, ready for a fight. But Vegeta hold out one hand and said he's not here to fight. In fact, he actually held out a finger, blasting off Nappa's scouter, then blasting off his own, or crushing him. And he asks Goku how strong, or asks him, Kakarot, how strong are you and your son? Goku just says, well, you scouter things could have, determined that for you. And Vegeta just says, those don't matter. Things can overcome scouters. I want to see how strong you are up close. This is a quick fight between, Nappa and Gohan, which Nappa actually, Gohan wins, but him and Nappa are about par. Gohan just had actually superior speed and had a bit of a rage boost. Because he's sometimes kind of just scared and a bit angry. But eventually Nappa is beaten, but Gohan is standing by the end. And Vegeta was like, alright, understand, or good to see that. This was actually a lot of humans challenging Vegeta and fighting him. All of them being able to put up a good fight, even Vegeta was like, alright, you're all very strong, that's good. Finally, Piccolo and Roshi step up, Roshi claiming, or saying he's the guardian god of Earth, so try him. And with one punch, he had knocked out Vegeta. Vegeta's jaw is broken and all of that. He's on back holding his broken jaw, but quickly being able to actually, get it back in place, all that. He can't talk, but he just nods, understanding Roshi's power, and Roshi just says that Goku is far above all of them. Which Vegeta understands is like, alright, well, this group is strong then. Roshi then used his staff to heal everyone, even though not everyone had major injuries. Gohan and Nappa were the most injured ones, because they're about par and they fought hard. They get up, and eventually Vegeta tells them everything about their plans, all that. And how they want to destroy the Frieza Force. Goku asks why Raditz was so hostile, and Vegeta simply just says he's an idiot. He can't control him. If they ride as a group, Raditz may still be alive. But he insisted on going alone first. Plus, he still believed that you were here to conquer. When you're not even, I'm pretty sure you were sent here for escape, not, battle. Goku now laughs, saying Vegeta isn't too bad of a guy. But after this, we move on, and we get to Bulma talking about, basically Vegeta helping her find out where Frieza planet is. And Tien using the parsing arts that it's not too bad, but deities far outclass him using it. Narrowly, he did find it and gave a general area. Then Vegeta's help narrowed it down. Now they've a set destination at Frieza planet. But also Piccolo had an idea or a request. Being he wants to visit Namek. Tien found that a lot easier, and when they asked why, when everyone else except for Goku and Roshi asked why, he says he's a Namekian. He wants to visit it. So with that, Bulma actually does set one ship to locations that then visit Namek after Frieza Planet 78, where Frieza currently is. And Nappa brings up saying, "Hey, don't him and King Cold have a meeting too?" This makes Vegeta kind of smirk and say, "Yeah, they do." Now with this, everyone get ships. Goku, Vegeta, and Nappa get their own, and Gohan as well. And they're used that ship to basically train. It's Goku teaching them to use Super Saiyan. And then Piccolo and everyone else, you have one ship, and then I don't think the other ship, but I would say that Yajirobe is here to basically guard Earth. Because he's not as lazy, but he's still a little bit lazy. But now we go on to them raiding Frieza Planet 78 mid-meeting. Now Frieza does actually get knowledge or word of a illegal vessel flying nearby. This makes him a bit curious until he sees a project ki blast hitting the building. As he then sees Nappa flying right at him, and Nappa would fly through the window, landing a punch on King Cold, sending him flying through the building. And Nappa's using a familiar red aura. He's using Kaioken. Now Frieza went out to talk about Nappa, calling him a fool, but he's met with an uppercut to the chest from Vegeta, who immediately appeared. Vegeta at this point is rivaling his Cell game counterpart in terms of power, as he grows very fast. He has pure progress like Goku. He has the abundant S cells like Goku. He's Super Saiyan and everything already because he just grew that fast. I'm gonna go over the fights. Vegeta and Nappa versus King Cold, as Vegeta has to go help Nappa because he's not as strong as King Cold, even with Kaioken. But Goku fights Frieza in Vegeta's place. Vegeta helps Nappa versus King Cold. Piccolo arrives and fights Ginyu. Uchi and Chachi fight the Ginyu Force. Yamcha and Bulma fight Zarbon. Krillin fights Dodoria. And Gohan fights Kui and an entire fleet of fodder. But we go on to Goku vs. Frieza. So Vegeta jump away to go help Nappa. Then Goku arrives, intercepting Frieza's punch while he's at full power. At this point in base, Goku is actually above Frieza in most forms until he goes 100%, where even then in base, he can put up a rather competent fight. I would say overall he's about comparable to about 90-ish% of Frieza's full power. Living Frieza being blow for blow, Frieza even evolving, continuing to be punched around like a ragdoll, until he went all out. But Goku smirked and said, "You're not even worth all my effort. I'll give you a small teaser of my power." He yelled from a Super Saiyan, and Frieza, being terrified for a second, it just met with the meanest Kamehameha to the chest, and his body was burning up in the attack. By the end of it though, Frieza's basically in half, completely utterly burned. And meanwhile, we're going to go on to King Cold versus Frieza, or King Cold versus Nappa and Vegeta. I want to say versus Frieza. Now Nappa is hoping to have a good fight, but King Cold eventually overcome him, pretty easily beating him down. But, Vegeta jumps in, and actually able to beat King Cold with minimal effort. King Cold is not a strong character to Vegeta. to this Vegeta at least. So Vegeta would eventually push King Cold into the ground. As King Cold tries to get up, he's met with the body of his son. He's not dead, but he's barely alive. As King Cold is like confused for a second, he realizes his sword is missing, and then his sword is running through Frieza's stomach, or well, his chest, and then through King Cold's own chest, pinning them both down. King Cold just calls Vegeta a dirty monkey, and Vegeta says, "Well, this monkey just killed you." He flared the sword up with Ki, and then let out an explosion from the sword, vaporizing King Cold and Frieza in the blast, and still destroying a bit of his own armor and Nappa's, but they're both strong enough to withstand this blast, so it didn't really affect them too badly. The Frieza Force hotspot is wiped out. Vegeta comes up to Goku, who's in Super Saiyan, and then Goku just has a mutual thumbs up. Pause. Now for the other fights. Piccolo vs. Ginyu. Ginyu would watch everything go down, and immediately goes to do a change now with Goku. But he's immediately met with a backhand across the face, and he's sent flying back. Ginyu then looks up to Piccolo, and they begin fighting. But Piccolo's pretty easily bodying Ginyu with no effort. Ginyu even tries to charge a beam to Piccolo's chest, and the smoke clears. Piccolo reveals just a bio armor, like chest plate. Piccolo just smirks and says, "Armor's pretty handy, isn't it?" Created wings, flew down, and then elbowed Ginyu right up the face. Ginyu flew in a circle, only to men met with Piccolo creating a tail from behind, wrapping around Ginyu's leg, and crushing it. Ginyu yelled in pain, and Piccolo would use a special beam cannon to finally kill him. It wasn't really a hard fight. Piccolo could have just ended it with one punch, but he wanted to, hurt Ginyu. So, he did. Meanwhile, Tien tried to versus the Ginyu Force. Goro tried to freeze time, but Chaozu already began siphoning energy. So while time was frozen, Chaozu's energy siphon is still going. It's a constant thing until he turns it off. While Goro's kind of trying to walk up to them to kill them, he starts realizing he's getting a bit sleepy, to the point where he yawned. And as soon as time soon, Chaozu's gonna laugh, saying, "Oh wow, we're kind of lucky. We're kind of lucky that you're not really full of energy. If you were that Ginyu guy, you could have kept going." Udo froze, realizing that Chaozu was the one taking his energy, and suddenly Chaozu turned his energy on full blast, taking all of Goldo's ki. They end up seeing Goldo collapse and just die, and Burger tries to blitz Chaozu, which Chaozu pretty quickly vanish, and with one well-placed punch to the back, he shatters all of Burger's ribs. He then turned around, and with a quick telepathy blast, he ends up basically just erasing Burger's brain. There's really nothing in there now. And then this does lead to Jace trying to use a Crusher Ball, but Tien would use his elemental ability to just freeze it, and then freeze Burger, freezing Jace, or throwing him into space by just grabbing and throwing him. Raccoon was a bit nervous, but immediately kind of just led to Chaozu draining his ki as well. Then as he begins kind of wobbling, he is just met with a quick uppercut from Tien, and his jaw is shattered. So, yeah, that ends the fight right then and there. Meanwhile, Gohan, he's busy basically blasting around and grounding ships, or grabbing them and pushing them down, basically forcing everyone to stay on the planet. Excuse me. Meanwhile, on Otherworld, though, we do see, Bardock's entire squad, including Gine and Raditz now, they found him, on King Kai's planet watching this. As King Kai really only invited them up to watch. The only one who'd be allowed to stay would be Gine. Once again, sorry. So, while everyone would basically be watching the fight on Frieza's planet, Gohan eventually puts a punch in the face by Qui. But Gohan just says, "What is with you guys touching me?" Talking about the Frieza Force. And that does sound really bad because he's 6 years old, but even then, Qui kind of gets panicking when realizing his punch didn't really affect Gohan. Gohan means basically just wailing on Qui with really no effort. So he roars in Kaioken, and with one attack vaporize Qui, but also destabilizing the entire planet. The thing though, everyone was already ready to leave. So they'll pile into ships and fly off, Nappa included. As they all eventually fly off, they stop by Namek. While here, the Namekians are kind of on guard till Piccolo walks out, and he ends up meeting Nail, who brings them to Elder Mori. As they all talk, though, Piccolo explains, who he is, and they start realizing that Piccolo is a combination of both kinds of Namekians, a warrior and a Dragon Clan member. And as they talk, Piccolo would eventually, he finds Dende and Cargo, and he does take an interest in both of them. But while they talk, eventually Mori does, a lot of stuff happens here, basically. And basically Piccolo kind of learning his place among the Namekians and how he'd be accepted, sure, but even then, not many will. Only the warriors will truly acknowledge Piccolo because of his strength, while the other ones probably never acknowledge him due to his Demon Clan heritage. That's evident because he has, those fucking wings on his back that he grew to fight Ginyu. But I would say that Piccolo does have an interest in training under the Namekians, which isn't due for long, as he can quickly master all their abilities, which he did do. But as it goes to going away present, he fused with Nail. Yeah, so Piccolo sailed on Namek, then Namek trained a bit, and then he headed off into space with a pod that was left behind for him. Everyone funneled into other ships. But as he's flying away, Kinkai mentioned how Goku, he's using the Farseeing arts and telepathy to tell Piccolo where Goku and a few others went. And that other place is Yardrat. One of the ones from Yardrat are Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, Tien, Krillin, Bulma. Well, and Chaozu, by the way. That's kind of been obvious, but still. Bulma dropped off everyone who didn't want to go to Yardrat. Kinkai told them about it, and then they had the Yardrat themselves. So, once they get to Yardrat, this does lead to Piccolo arriving himself, and he means training in spirit control as well. But he already had a bit of it down, so he didn't really need much aside from instant transmission, healing, healing from Kami. So, this is instant transmission and for spirit vision. He already knew size control, cloning, healing, all that stuff. So he mastered everything. Nappa isn't really here to train. He honestly just doesn't want to live on Earth. He doesn't like it. So he stays here to farm Cybermen. Vegeta would stay here, would stay on Yardrat for a little bit, learning most things, but he mastered cloning, but he did not learn Force Spirit Vision. Goku learned everything, mastered instant transmission, but didn't learn Force Spirit Vision. Piccolo learned everything, mastered everything. Nappa learned cloning, that's about it. Tien learned everything, but didn't master one. Jay-Sensei learned everything, but mastered Vision. So, yeah. Krillin learned instant transmission, healing, and size control, and Bulma learned cloning, because what's a better workforce? 100 regular people, or 10 Bulmas? The answer is 10 Bulmas. So, yeah. But now the Android Saga. And here, we're going to head to the past. Or the future, I guess. In the future, we see Gohan, a grown-up Gohan. Covered in scars, but dogging 17-18 in Super Saiyan 2. We'll take them both on at once, and then by his side, Sue jumps in and gets Jirobi. Currently, they're the only two warriors aside from Trunks and Bulma left alive. I was wondering what happened. Jiro had a lot more androids. A lot more. In this one, the Revenant Army isn't completely crushed. They're beaten up. A lot of them survived, because Goku never met a lot of them. Bulma and Yamcha were left with their own devices. Yamcha only killed General White. Bulma kind of just did whatever she wanted. She beat up certain members. That's about it. Then with Roshi and Krillin doesn't kill. He's an enlightened being. He does not want to kill. Well, he almost like very evil, and you hit by his enlightened palm, which kind of erases all evil, and then you have to be so evil it completely erases you. But there's basically just a lot more androids, because there's a lot more members of the Red Ribbon Army around. The more androids led to more deaths. All to this point, all that's left are 17, 18, Super 13, and a lot of prototypes. Like the super prototypes, the giant mech things. Bulma handles those and fights those. Super 13 was killed in a battle against Vegeta, and now 17 and 18 are all that's left. But Gohan can pretty confidently handle them both, but with a bit of help from Jirobi. But eventually Gohan actually able to kill 17, that basically just vaporizing him with Kamehameha, but 18 came into that and actually used it on Ki Blast, taking off Gohan's arm. But then eventually Bulma developed her time machine out of the parts of a lot of super prototypes, her own technology, and then, yeah. But in this one, her machines run off Ki. She learned to do that. She's the greatest technological mind of all, but you have to use all of your Ki and try to not die, so you don't make a certain trip. Like, you can use Ki for basic travel, but if you want to make a very specific journey, you need to use all of it. So Trunks arrived to the past. So he's still the one who went. Gohan just said he needed to keep an eye on 18. When he arrived, he got out of the pod, barely awake. But when he arrived, everyone immediately would flock to him. They all sensed him immediately. And Trunks was aware of a few people and how strong they were. But when he sensed their Ki, he didn't realize they were all this strong. Especially Goku and Vegeta. Yeah, he knew his dad a little bit, but he's just stronger than Gohan. So Trunks would end up talking to Goku, and he didn't talk to anyone, but Piccolo still overhears it. And as he talks to them, also this led to once Tien and guys are gonna realize how shocked Piccolo is, even Gohan, they all read Trunks' mind just to hear what or just understand what he's talking about. And that's how they learned that Trunks is Vegeta's son from the future. But after they learn everything they need to, Trunks leaves, and yeah. But unfortunately enough, Jiro, who has a lot more information, was actually able to overhear and get all this information. Now realizing he needs to get his androids stronger. Pause. So, when it comes down to the 3 years training, Nappa is actually alerted of like, hey, there are these androids coming. Nappa, who's busy farming supplements, like, yeah, I can have a full farm here. I can't help you. I'll send down some of my best workers. They're confused until immediately 10 black headmen appear and they're speaking incoherently, kind of like Kid Buu, but they understand English well enough, or Japanese. And they all use this transmission. They all use some version of spirit control in their own way. One of them can use sense control. One of them can use force spirit vision. One of them can use instant transmission, and all that kind of stuff. By the end of it, though, Goku and Vegeta are roughly comparable to about like their base Dragon Ball Super counterparts. Actually, no. In base, Goku's relative like 100% Frieza, so probably actually a bit above that, around like probably comparable like Super Saiyan 1, beginning of a Battle of Gods with Goku, and on Super Saiyan 2. And then we end up seeing that Vegeta is a bit around that level as well, maybe a tiny bit above that or below that. We're not sure, but even then, Goku could use him as his rival. I think they both go Super Saiyan 1 through 2. It's not that hard for them. Gohan as well can do Super Saiyan 1 through 2. But we eventually go on, and we go on to the android attack, where 19 and 20 are attacking the city. First one on the scene is still Yamcha, but when Jiro went in to pierce his chest, Yamcha quickly just caught the hand and yanked it off Jiro's body and crushed it. Jiro was surprised at how strong these guys were, and he's met with a quick punch to the face, being sent flying back. But he's honestly off guard, why his hand is so easily yanked off. But when Jiro's on guard, him and Yamcha are relative in power, but eventually Yamcha pushes him back enough, point where 19 steps in and tries to drain his ki. But Tetsu would jump in, training his size, and completely just dwarfing 19 and picking him in a bear hug, saying, "Hey, that trick's neat. I think it's mine though." And he drains all of 19's ki, like all of it. 19 powers down and is dropped before being stomped on by Giant Chaozu. Jiro froze and flew off immediately. But immediately everyone follows him pretty easily. He's not that fast. Goku and Vegeta are just running along the ground, pretty easily following Jiro. Even if it goes all over water, they'll run on the water. They're that fast. But by the time he arrives at his lab, it's being watched. At the gate, they end up seeing, or at least, Krillin and Roshi recognize his face. Goku, Bulma, and Yamcha don't, because they've never met this person. They see Commander Red at the door. Commander Red is a cyborg now, and they're smoking a cigar. It's about time, Jiro. You open the lab, and Jiro rushes inside, releasing various androids. Some include Android 13, 18, 17, Android Blue, Android 16, Cyborg Tau, Cyborg Shen, and a lot of super prototypes, including various members of the Red Ribbon Army, who, kind of various bodies of theirs. We have the giant ones, but also just basic cyber prototypes that are kind of more robot than actual cyborgs. And immediately rushing in his size, telling Krillin, I told you you should kill them. And then they're here to bite us in the ass. Shen charged Roshi, and Roshi thought it'd be an easy, block, but when he blocked his arm, he felt his arm going to crack under the force of Shen's punch. But almost immediately, he healed himself. And because I'm wondering how Tao is alive, he should not be, but he is. Mainly because I wanted an interesting fight for Tien and Chaozu. Now, when the super prototypes tried to jump in and actually basically just crush like Roshi from behind, we see Joby jump in and then cut it to pieces in an instant. Now we're going to go into the fights. Goku vs 13, Vegeta vs 18, Trunks vs 17, Piccolo vs Android Blue, Gohan vs 16, Genjutsu vs Cyborg Tau, Roshi vs Cyborg Shen, Yamcha, Yajirobe, and Tenemen versus the super prototypes trying to head towards the city. Pause real quick. So, with this, when the fights begin, Goku would fight 13, who can evolve into super form naturally. But Goku simply doesn't care. Vegeta can try his best, but Goku is much stronger than him, even in base. But this does lead Super 13 emerging and going all out, which Goku laughs at. And there was things a bit confusing, like, aren't you intimidated? Goku laughs, saying, yeah, you're strong, but I don't think Jiro can guess how fast I grow. He goes into Ozaru Wrath and punches the hole clean through 13. And then he would just spark his fist full of ki, and from the inside out, we end up seeing 13 glow and then explode. There's some time as 17 attacks Goku, Trunks would arrive, and ends up with a punch with his forearm and smacking 17 around. And he says in his timeline they finally finished off the last android, being 18, but there's not this many androids in this timeline. But probably because they all died before he was actually able to remember how they all fought. So this led to Gohan fighting 17 himself, and then we're going to 18. Vegeta versus 18. 18 started trying to break Vegeta's arm, but he healed himself immediately and punched her in the arm, shattering it. Which we see abilities in 18 that the Trunks' timeline does not have, the abilities that they don't have. For 17 and 18, they share the ability of pure progress, energy absorption, mastery over their limitless energy, Jiro's intelligence, combined with an adaptive supercomputer scanning, being that it can scan you, learn your race, learn your attributes, learn your weaknesses, and it can learn what abilities you can use. And it's basically using all the information throughout history, but also through other systems that exist in the universe. So with this, that grants them all the abilities of the Z-Fighters, but also some abilities of their entire species. Then they both can use electrokinesis that can also regenerate kind of on par with basic Namekians. They can both spit flames, and they both have demon ki, and they can also fuse with each other. But now we're going to 17 specifically. Also, they both have demon ki, by the way. Demon ki, but yeah. 17, on top of energy absorption, he has absorption barriers. It doesn't control the size of the barriers, they can kind of just crush you inside of them while absorbing your ki. So, yeah, it's a very dangerous ability, but it's a strong one. But 17 can also unlock his own potential by will. That's a very human part of him, but he can unlock it by will if he thinks the fight is something too difficult. But there's kind of a reset timer on it, and it's like months. He has to use it wisely. And for 18, she has a bit more vulnerabilities, but for one of her abilities is that she can absorb your energy with each hit. The more hits she lands, the more energy she takes. She has camouflage, kind of like invisibility basically, but it only lasts like a quick instant, kind of used to like avoid an enemy's attack and hide tracks from them momentarily to land a good blow. Those has homing attacks, and those homing attacks can also absorb ki. Now, go back to the fights. Excuse me. As the Vegeta 18 fight, they've been clashing fists, and Vegeta feels himself getting a bit tired. And Jazzer talked about how one of the energies absorb ki kind of like he could, so maybe she's doing the same thing. You can assign realizing that before jumping back and going into Super Saiyan 2, and one ki blast, he sent 18 flying across the sky. So he sat down to recover his ki. Meanwhile, Trunks is fighting 17, and overhearing that, he immediately pulled out a sword, not wanting to get close to 17 anymore, thinking he has the energy absorption hits. But immediately, 17 kind of laughs, saying, "Huh, a sword. Cute." He trapped Trunks in a barrier and crushing it on him, and Trunks begins slashing at the barrier, trying to get out of it. It doesn't work until the barrier keeps crushing him, but Yajirobe will jump in, and kicking away one super androids or super prototypes into 17, knocking him off focus, and then the barrier is dispersed. Yajirobe shot his sword through the android, or through the prototype, and into the android below. 17 tries to pull the sword out of his shoulder, but then Trunks would jump in, putting his sword in ki, and he just yells, saying, Yajirobe's the one who trained him, as he's a student of Gohan and Yajirobe, and Yajirobe's trying to use a sword. And Yajirobe himself currently realizes, Trunks is using his katana. Well, Trunks would coat his sword in ki and touch down at 17 and Super Prototype. Then pretty easily avoided it, and he eventually would also power up, he can rise up Kamehameha while also coating his aura, or using an aura that kind of resembles Super Saiyan. His Ki Blast also does end up hitting Trunks, but Trunks is able to withstand it until Goku saves him. Well, we're going to take on a different fight right now. Piccolo versus Android Blue. Piccolo and him kind of have a stare down until it ends up with a kind of a quick telepathy talk. Then Blue tries to use I-beams, which Piccolo matches with his own, and the match kind of calls for a giant explosion. The two being clashing, and they seem relatively equal. But then, Blue tries to telepathy again, but also shocking Piccolo's brain. And he went in for another punch, he punch to Piccolo, only to be met with bio armor. Piccolo smirked for something about bio armor on his forearm, and shooting spikes from it, shoving one right into Blue's eye. Blue jumped back holding onto his leaking face, and Blue was wondering how Piccolo did that. But Piccolo says he has really good control over his body. And his idea actually would give himself the same wound he gave Blue, but then heal it immediately. And actually, that's just regeneration. Blue kind of started a bit nervous, because Piccolo created more versions of himself. In fact, he made around 20. Blue wobbled back, only to be hit with a brush telepathy, hurting his brain. In fact, kind of frying what the parts of him are, robotic. As his brain is a bit short-circuited, all Piccolo's jump in, extending their arms at top speeds, and it kind of resembles Go Gatling, but from just 20 different Piccolos. He attacks into Blue, then breaking and destroying his body. His body is basically like a crumpled heap. Piccolo would just conjure up one Ki Blast, and then he turns into dust. It wasn't really a hard fight, but it was something Piccolo wasn't expecting. He has this major headache now, and a bad one. So he sits down, trying to just get rid of this headache, but it's something that he can heal. It's kind of permanent damage on his brain. We don't go on fight 16, and 16 is still on the whole kill Goku thing. Well, actually, kind of kill the Dragon team. But Gohan proves that should be able to hold off 16 in Super Saiyan form, and he goes Super Saiyan 2, actually able to briefly push him back. As 16 powers up, using same abilities, the combined abilities of 17 and 18. Not regeneration, but his body kind of just regrows metal. Kind of like Metal Cooler, but not as cool. Obviously, Gohan does end up being defeated, but just and Piccolo jump in, saving him, punching a hole, clean through 16 chest, and just throwing him into the sky, and blessing him with Ki Blast. And when 16 does this crash, they don't bother checking that he's gonna recover. They assume it's gonna take a long time, even if he was gonna recover. Now Tien Shatsu versus Cyborg Tao. Now to talk about how Goku killed him, or almost did. His body was left in a very bloody pile that was barely salvaged. And Tatsu said he deserved it, and as they fight, Tao starts to return the Zorb key. But when he tries to, Tatsu actually grabs his hand and begins ordering his key back. Not even using Spirit Vision to forcibly pull it out of him. While he's pulling out at the same time, he's also taking in. Then Tien will also use his he actually starts stunning Tao's mind. So you can't really think about what attack he's going to do. His body isn't really reacting properly. Tao's body isn't really fighting for himself, it's fighting for what Tien is making him do. Eventually Tao's body is basically all out of ki, but then Tien would use the forward second, shoving 4 arms clean through Tao's torso, killing him immediately. But as Tao's body falls back for extra effort, Tatsu kind of just turn it to dust with just one very big attack that just reduces everything around him to ash. And then Roshi versus Cyborg Shen. As the fight, Shen thinks that they're relatively equal in skill, but Roshi quickly shows him that is not the case. Roshi is far above him. Roshi goes into Kaioken, bodying Shen with no effort. This fight is basically Roshi showing Shen they were never equal. Shen will never be Roshi's equal. Roshi is just simply too strong. Fight ended with Roshi simply crushing Shen's head with just one very well placed punch, but then letting off a blast of ki from his fist, and then enhancing or making a giant crater below it, battering the rest of Shen's body. Roshi did bow to his old friend, but told him, if you come back, I'll make sure to kill you in a worse way. Roshi ends up falling back at the lookout, kind of having a bit of mental toll taken on him for this fight. But he also does keep an eye on the super prototypes, keeping an eye on them so they don't head into the city. But we're going to head back to the other fights. For Vegeta versus 18, she eventually does fly back after Vegeta had some of his ki zapped. But Goku will jump in saving him, and he then tells Vegeta he felt a form beyond Super Saiyan 2. Vegeta says he kind of assumed that was a given. He knows there's more. There's no way 2 is the limit. It'd be kind of lame. We'll come to Snicker before they go into Super Saiyan 2, and they begin tag teaming 18, giving them means combos of lefts, rights, uppercuts, kicks across the face, all that. Once with them done, 18 is knocked out, and they end up turning on to 17. But by this point, Trunks' katana had gone to a big point where it cut off both of 17's arms, and he eventually is just punched in the chest by Yajirobe and being sent flying away. Now, just as they're about to go attack 17, suddenly a green bug man swiped him. They couldn't see what it looked like, but it was a bug man. Ugh. Once this person swabs or snatches 17, then 18 is also snatched. Wonder what's going on, and they look around. But then 13 is snatched. Or what remained of him. It wasn't much, but a little bit was around. A giant green leech slug tail, maybe? Vacuumed up the entire area. But then, as soon as they're ready to chase it, the tail leech slug thing shot out to more prototypes. And immediately, the Tenon Men jumped out. Tenon Men, I believe, are yellow Cybermen, I believe. I think that's what they are. I'm not sure, honestly. I think I can pull up a list. Tenon Men are pinkish blue. Yeah, they're pink and blue. They're not that strong, about barely above Raditz. But these ones can actually use spirit control. Plus, they're actually go intelligent creatures, and they actually train the Z-Fighterz a little bit. So they're actually able to construct the prototypes now. And whenever any of them get close to the city, they're jumped on by a clone and blown up, as these things can clone themselves too. So that's why Nappa only sent 10, but 10 can turn into 100 pretty quickly. Now Yamcha's actually being able to cut them down in one go, and might be using Wolfang Fist, just his own raw strength. But then, as he's about to cut through another prototype, the weird tail thing shoved right into Yamcha's chest, absorbing his ki. Yamcha tried to pull it out, but it wouldn't budge, until the Sennin men jumped on the tail and blew it up. And it restored Yamcha's ki immediately, but his chest had a gaping wound in it, which he quickly healed. Now, every man looking for this mysterious fighter, until 16 would attack them all once more. Specifically Goku, targeting him with a punch to the chest so hard that Goku felt his ribs crack. They punched 16 back, when they realized he didn't even dent 16. His body adapted. This led to a quick fight with Goku even going to Super Saiyan 2, but then Vegeta would jump in with him. It led to everyone jumping 16. Except for the Tennin men who were focusing on super prototypes. Vegeta then said, he knows what that thing is, but he doesn't know why it's here. It shouldn't even be born yet. Then also Bulma runs out of the lab, holding up an embryo thing, saying she thinks it was this thing, Project Cell. And Bulma had gotten here late because she had Trunks, so yeah. But Trunks is hiding in her battle jacket. Talking about what this thing is, as everyone's busy holding off 16. And she says she thinks that thing may have come from the future, from Trunks. Trunks thought that was a little weird. That shouldn't be possible. But then we see this Cell arrive in its perfect state. In fact, he's a lot bigger than Perfect Cell is. Canonically, he's a lot bigger. Like, in fact, he might be around 12 feet tall. This confuses Z-Fighterz, wondering who this thing is. Until Cell just says, "Trunks, your master was rather tasty." He coughs a bit, spitting up a bit of Gohan's gi, specifically the Kame, or the Roshi logo, tournament logo. Gohan just froze, or Roshi froze. Fuck. Trunks froze seeing this, and was wondering what happened. And Roshi Cell just said, he ate. Gohan, he ate Yajirobe, and he ate 18. Well, he couldn't find 17, so he had to come here to get him. And he had an extra feast with this other 18. But then the other androids were just so tasty he could not help it. Which explains why he's much bigger and a bit blue. Cell in this one is basically like a giant pale blue color with like red highlights. He's not green, just very pale blue with red highlights. He has no Frieza DNA, no Frieza DNA. He doesn't grow as fast as his canon, but even then, pure progress will help him grow. So with this, Cell does actually propose the Cell games. Still, this is making him a bit anxious, but he shows off Super Saiyan 1, or Super Cell 1, also in Super Cell 2, but then he starts mixing in Ozaru Wrath, then Kaioken. Mixing in every ability of Z-Fighterz, including just Piccolo's own Super Namekian abilities, including Bio Armor. He simply tells them he knows, as they are right now, he can kill them all at once. And he wants a good fight, so they better make it worth his while. Piccolo had an idea, telling them he'll be back, and he would just vanish. With this, all Z-Fighterz head up to the lookout, where Roshi immediately starts making upgrades to the lookout by using his magic. Showing them he's upgraded the time chamber to the maximum ability that he can, trying to make sure as many people can go in as they can. Pause. Okay, sorry about that. But with this, Piccolo had set off, and then Roshi continued to upgrade the time chamber. Meanwhile, Bulma had upgraded her own gravity chamber so everyone else could do their own good training. So, Battle Jacket Bulma, Tien, Chaozu, what else? Who else? Tien, Chaozu, Roshi. Hold up. So here's a little training. Piccolo headed up to Namek and asked them all to help him, save Earth. He said that he wants to fuse with all the warriors, or just many people who are willing to fuse with him. He used his telepathy to beam them all that's been happening. And with this, basically every Namekian steps up, willing to fuse with Piccolo, including Elder Mori. Piccolo fuses with all of Namek, boosting his power significantly, and training on Namek the entire time to boost power and master all the abilities for about 2 days, or let's say Cell gives him 5 days to fully catch up, or at least put up a challenge. Piccolo has 5 days. Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Gohan go on time for 3 days. Goku and Vegeta teaching them spirit control, teaching them basically every ability they can. Goku even unlocks Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta's not far behind. And then Trunks and Gohan both master Super Saiyan 1 and 2, but even been learning to stack Kaioken on top of it. Goku and Vegeta already learned that a while ago. Meanwhile, in the gravity chamber down on, the normal realm, Bulma in her battle jacket, Tien, Chaozu, Roshi, the Tenen Men, Yamcha, and Yajirobe are all in the gravity chamber. And Bulma's using her battle jacket, plus all the information she has in the androids, basically being what she could steal from 16 after, detaining him, to prepare and fight against the ones with her, so they can be prepared for some abilities that Cell would have. Also, she basically learned every ability that the androids had and put them into her battle jacket. So, once Cell Games begins, Piccolo would arrive, and everyone feels his immense power now. It's absurd. And his ki feels weird. Sometimes they can sense it, sometimes they can't. It kind of goes on and off. But Piccolo just says, "Do not worry about me. Worry about them." He points ahead, and in the distance they see Shin and Kibito. Roshi knows who they are, as does Piccolo. I was wondering why they're here. I phrase this. Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Piccolo, Gohan, and Tien and Roshi, I didn't say them already. They've all surpassed certain levels that Shin Kibito could not ignore. Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Piccolo all surpassed Kid Buu already. And that's in base for Goku. He surpassed Kid Buu. Same for Vegeta. Trunks is relative to full power Kid Buu and Super Saiyan 1. And then we have Piccolo, who is just above them in every way until Goku and Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 3. And then we would have the other ones who are basically relative to Fat Buu or base Super Buu. Very big without learning Buuhan at all yet. So with this, Shin Kibito kind of watching this to see who they're fighting. When Cell powered up to full power, he just simply said, he can't stand going rounds. Jump him. But as a warning, Piccolo would punch him right in the chest, and Cell almost threw up. I was so confused. Piccolo didn't seem strong enough to make him throw up. Piccolo would smirk for his weight of clothing vanishes, and he roars, going all out. With this, Shin Kibito froze, feeling the power that Piccolo was emitting. And on this planet, we see Beerus kind of starting to snap and says, Saiyan, Namekian, before flipping over on his back and snoring once more. We see Piccolo and Cell going at it, and Cell is being pushed. Piccolo surpasses base by a long shot. But the moment he tried to go Super Cell, he's met with a firm punch to the ribs from Roshi. Wasn't much until Roshi went Kaioken, and then in his max power state, did another one, and Cell felt a small crack. But then in his mind, he felt 2 invaders, which he thought he could easily push out until the pain is intensified. They're making his body feel things that he shouldn't. He shouldn't hurt, but now he feels like he's on fire. But Thanos jumps in with the 4 Witcher technique, only realize that he's not going to attack him, he's doing something else. He creates a giant key avatar that's using every ability Tien has, and just flat out crushing Cell. And Yamcha jumps in with the Wolfang Fist, and does much damage to the point where it actually shakes the earth. It was a Wolfang Fist that's not meant to target Cell, but everything. His friends were fast enough to avoid it. Cell realized his arm was lopped off from the attack, and then Yajirobe would lop off his other arm as fast as he can. When Gohan and Trunks do a combined attack, with Gohan using Masenko, and then Trunks using the Final Flash. As Gohan had learned every ability from Vegeta and Goku. In the time chamber, that is. Or at least as many abilities as they could teach him, which was a lot. Like, Gohan is a lot older, and they plan on reversing the Dragon Balls, but making sure he can get his power. Their Dragon Balls can do that. They're very strong. So, this kind of attack, Cell's hit by it and kept flying back. Only to met by Goku and Vegito, both using a one-handed Kamehameha and a Final Flash, or one-handed Final Kamehameha. He succeeded hitting Cell, but just in time, he roared, going into Super Cell, while also using every ability he has to his advantage, or every buff he has. As soon as he used it, though, he does have major damage, and he's slowly healing. As he heals, immediately he would execute another attack. Well, not an attack, but ability. That ability is just immediate cloning. And creates hundreds of Cell Juniors. But just in time, they're jumped on by Tenon Men being blown apart. As those Tenon Men are blown apart, immediately Cell's a bit confused, wondering how they're so strong. But then he realizes that these things had trained. They're a little too muscular to be regular Tenon Men. When Nappa arrives in Super Saiyan 3, because he trains so often, like he's kind of like Barbara's best friend at this point. Because Nappa has it and not Gohan, mainly because Gohan, yeah, he trained hard, but he also doesn't really push himself to unlock it. Nappa has so much anger, but Nappa still isn't as strong as Gohan is by a long shot. So, but he arrives at. By the way, here's more Cybermen to help me fight this guy for you. And he pulls out Jinkoman. These ones aren't as tamed and don't know as much speed control abilities, but they're still able to understand the Cybermen or Tenon Men to help fight. After a quick and powerful jumping, eventually this does lead to the defeat of at least this Super Cell 2 or 3. But then Super Cell shows off one thing that they're very confused about. A tail. Which is weird. They have theirs, but Cell, what does he have one? Doesn't really seem to fit. Cell begins to twitch, and Cell begins to look a bit more feral. He's healing from more damage as Nappa's continuously wailing on him still, being able to buff up and just slam him around. But then Cell would roar, sending Nappa flying back with just the Ki alone. And immediately, Cell through a false moon, and everyone knew what this was. Everyone jumped away, and Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, all the false moon, went into their Grade 8 forms immediately, able to pretty easily control it, even going to Golden Grade 8 to, make it stronger. Cell did too, but his Golden Grade 8 was weird. It wasn't a Grade 8, it was just him, but size of a Grade 8 with sharp teeth. Cell just smirked and said, "I never looked so primitive. I never looked that primitive, because I'm the perfect specimen." We're trying to jump him, but he's pretty easily beating them. It's not that hard for him at this point. But this wasn't his idea. His idea was something completely different. I mean, he felt and knew that they hadn't realized yet. He's going to push beyond Super Saiyan and Grade 8. He's going to push to combine them. He thought they were even shrinking, thinking he was just running out of ki. But instead, once he shrunk fully, a large explosion occurred, and in the clearing, they saw Cell with pants. It's kind of weird. But then, on his face, were small bits of fur. Cell was in Super Saiyan 4 somehow. They don't know what Super Saiyan 4 is, but that's what Goku immediately calls it. This isn't Super Saiyan 3, it's too powerful, too powerful. And immediately, this led to, how do you phrase this? It led to Goku not shitting himself, but being terrified. He didn't know how to fight this. He's never seen it before. Neither has anyone here. But Chaozu had arrived, luckily enough, and this did confuse a lot of people. So Chaozu began whispering to Goku, and then beamed him instructions telepathically. Force Spirit Vision. He had learned it in Time Temper finally, but he hasn't really mastered it to the level that Chaozu has. But at least Vegeta learned it as well, as has Piccolo and Tien. Actually, Nappa, Tien, Chaozu, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Goku. Yeah, they all learned that. So with this, all Trunks said is weaken him as much as you can, then use it. We'll force the androids out of him. And Trunks said yes to do this and make sure his Master gets out of there too. So he'll make him throw him up. He created clones, then all went into Super Saiyan 2, go on to the same thing, and then they all created clones to turn Jump Cell. That was pretty easily manhandling everyone, but then eventually it's become too much. And for a brief moment, actually feel Piccolo's power increased level to the point where they can't even tell what happened to him. His eyes flash red, and his ki vanishes. And one well-placed punched, Cell threw up Gohan. Future Gohan. Gohan immediately looked up at Cell, and one quick uppercut sent him flying far back. This future Gohan went Super Saiyan 2 himself, and didn't say he needed to know what's going on. He heard what's going on through Cell. He can blast Cell, and future Gohan kind of just winks at Kid Gohan. And Gohan kind of just smiles, thinking how cool this guy looks. But eventually, once Cell was weakened enough, after Piccolo's beating on him, and then everyone else jumping him, they'll just yell, now. Then, with a force-based vision, they mean forcefully pulling apart all of Cell's ki, separating him into every android he absorbed. But as soon as Cell tried to roar, saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. From above, they hear a man just say, how pitiful, going out like this. Oh, one ki blast, this man erased every android. Well, at least most of them. He targeted Cell, but 2 of them escaped. Or 3. Both 18s and 17. Pause. So with this, they look up to see who it was, and they see a large cat man with an angel. Or what Roshi learned was an angel. They become confused who this was, and Beerus just looks at Piccolo, and then to where Cell was, saying, you two, you're impressive. Too bad the other one went out like a coward. But you have God Ki somehow. Piccolo basically earned it by using with every Namekian, and then also mastering his ki. Kind of like Super Saiyan God, but more complicated. So now, Beerus kind of looks at Piccolo funny, but then looks at Shin Gabito, telling them, you two, what were you gonna do when you talk to them? Shin walked over a bit nervously, saying, we're just gonna train him, maybe? Beerus smirked and said, this fight woke me up early, so I'll give you a pardon. I'll sleep for however long I can to, finish my nap. But Shin, Kibito, finish their training. I demand it. Immediately, Shin and Kibito both nod furiously and quickly, both a bit nervous. And Luis looked through Trunks and just said, and you, boy, and you, pointing to Gohan, no more time shenanigans. Am I understood? Both of them just nod a bit confused, but also kind of nervous. He says, you have the one chance to head back to your timeline, nothing more. They end up saying goodbye to, this timeline, and head back to their original time. So with this, everyone separates, and Beerus actually eats some Earth food, just to, get himself fattened up and kind of ready to hibernate for a few years. Meanwhile, Shin Gabito, well, they're not worried about Kid Buu anymore, or Boo. So, pause real quick. Alright, so once we accept the Kai training, our Piccolo, who kind of just lives there now because he can just teleport anywhere and he doesn't even need to leave, so he just stays on the world of the Kais. And Chatsu are the same, they can teleport out anytime, so they kind of stay in the world of the Kais. Roshi, Gohan, and Goku and Vegeta are all part-timers, as Goku has an interesting thing coming up for him, that being King Kai having a tournament, or entering Goku in a tournament, against a student of the Grand Kai, which is interesting to hear about, after Kibito heard why Goku wasn't a full-time student. Because who would the Grand Kai train? Funny. So, while Goku prepares for that, Vegeta, meanwhile, is busy racing Trunks. But one day, he ends up going through his old Saiyan stuff, finding parts of the Scouter. Bulma had repaired it, and kind of began using it mainly to watch TV on the go, which he kind of found funny. After going through it, he realized it hasn't been used in a while, and realized, because of that, there's a message on it, and her her or him had not seen yet. He checked it, and it was a transmission from Tarble. He's alive. And this is why Vegeta's a part-timer. He's going to find his brother. He told Bulma this, and immediately got in the ship and flew off. Bulma understood why, though. He went to the section of the galaxy where the transmission had come from, but it was garbled. He couldn't really understand everything. So he flew around and began sensing for, well, his brother. As he sensed around, he was a bit confused, like wondering why Tarble had reached out after all this time. And he wondered, what if he was in hiding? What if he was like Kakarot and escaped, or was sent somewhere for escape? But while he was out, he had found, well, a Frieza Force planet. He arrived, and it was a vacant one, mostly. Mainly for Frieza Force for refugees, and when they saw Vegeta, they didn't bother fighting, they ran away. He ransacked the place before finding about 2 agents, Abo and Kato. Those two were on a planet that seemingly was just peaceful. And then he got it. The coordinates that Tarble could not finish were about this planet. He got back in the ship and flew off, heading to this planet. Meanwhile with Tarble. Tarble, this one, is going to be a Z-Fighter, so he is perfect as well. Makes him perfect is the fact he's about as strong as Canon Vegeta. But the thing is, he does not train often. If anything, he's about as strong as Namek Vegeta, but I'm not talking about like 2 million versus Frieza. No, like the kind that got his ass beat by the Ginyu Force. And Abo and Kato can beat, or not, can't beat, they're probably on par with Ginyu. So Tarble's been has beaten a few times, getting a few Zenkais, but that's not nearly enough to fight. To fight back, at least. Meanwhile, Tarble's actually in a big fight with them right now, as it goes on every few days. This week, Tarble had a big Zenkai, and it will separate them both from their fused form. But quickly fused again, going until they land an attack on Tarble that Tarble thought could kill him. But a pod crashed right into them, crushing them to the ground. And out stepped Vegeta, who looks how he does in GT, just no mustache. Vegeta got out of the pod, stared down at Kato, who pretty quickly pushed the ship off of them, but with 1 foot on them, and he ejects 1 ki blast from it, and basically just causes a mushroom cloud, turning them to nothing. Tarble was surprised to see who this was, and when he looked him in the face, he's like, Vegeta, your hair. He shrugged, saying, it's a new look. He sat down, and began talking to Tarble, wondering how he got so strong to easily wipe out someone like that. Tarble was kind of just confused. Vegeta kind of laughed, saying, he's been through a lot. He looked around and said, Tarble, do you want to come with me? Tarble asked, why was he so interested in all of a sudden? He didn't show the message for so long. But Vegeta explained he'd been in Frieza Force and had his scouter destroyed. And then it was fixed, but not properly. Which kind of the truth. And says he didn't leave the message because it hasn't been used in a long time, so there's really much to use. We're going to laugh, saying he understood. But he said he didn't want to leave. And Vegeta says, alright then, just pay me a visit. You should meet your nephew. Tarble froze and was surprised, and asked if he'd at least bring his wife, as he pointed over to Gurei, who was hiding. Vegeta shrugged, created a clone, who grabbed Gurei. Then himself, he grabbed the ship and Tarble, and teleported to Earth, right in Capsule Corp, where Bulma was busy fixing Scouter with Trunks on her back. And then Vegeta called out from the opening thing, "Woman, this is my brother," and his wife thing. Bulma said, hello, waved, going through Scouter. This is a surprise Tarble that Vegeta actually had a wife and a son. And he actually started to stay on Earth, which we're realizing there's Saiyans here, a lot of them. But we're going to Gohan now, because that's the more important thing for now. For Gohan, with him, well, he did age up a lot. He was in there for 5 years instead of 2. This one, he's about, 16, 17. So he's in his adult form, basically. But immediately, once she saw him, she demanded the Dragon Balls fix him. So Roshi ends up summoning the Dragon Balls to him using his own magic. He and Piccolo kind of had a co-thing for the Dragon Balls. Plus another upgraded Piccolo, and Roshi used it even more, so that Roshi had control over them almost as much as Piccolo does. Almost. Piccolo still has more control, plus these are godly Dragon Balls now. He has God Ki. So he summoned Shenron, and immediately would use one wish to restore Gohan to his kid age, and it worked. Shenron did ask about the power argument sacrificing, and Roshi says, if you can bring it back with another wish, I don't care. Oh, with that, Shenron can do just that. But because of this, Gohan is told you can have all the power you had in your other body or your bigger body, but you cannot use it as much or as frequently. It is definitely more strenuous. And Gohan not understanding that, saying, "All right, so I'll have it. I just can't use it often. I have to train it." Shenron says, "Yes, basically. Third wish." And third wish, well, they don't know what to do with the extra 18. Krillin is having fun with both of them, but Krillin Roshi says, fuse them together, I guess. And they fuse 18 and 18, creating Android 36. But with this doesn't really do much for 18 appearance-wise, except for give her longer hair and make her a bit taller. But her power increase is drastic, making her much stronger. So with this, 16 or 18 times surprised, but doesn't want the power boost. And Krillin does not mind a much taller woman now. Now, we're going to go into Goku. Goku's on Kinkai's planet, kind of doing basic workouts and stretches. You know that he's wearing what he wore in it's like tournament where he fought Ooh. Oh, yeah, I guess you're curious about the world tournament records. Yeah, Yamcha's the only one who still does that, so he's currently the world champion. I need to give him something aside from baseball. He would not be as successful because he's not really into baseball as much. So yeah, in this one, Yamcha is basically the new Mr. Satan, or the early version of him. But yeah, back to Goku. While he trains, he eventually would go to the tournament. And here, hold up. So, Grand Kai has his only Grand Kai and North Kai are so confident in fighters they only send one fighter. Goku is for North Kai. Grand Kai sends Pikkon, and to make up for West Kai missing Pikkon, he has Bardock. And Bardock has been watching Goku this whole time, and they haven't had time to meet Gohan yet, so because the androids are kind of a big thing, so. Yeah. But Gine and Broxim are watching from the stands, cheering on Goku. Well, also Bardock, but Gine is actually yelling out like, "Go Kakarot!" And Bardock's squad feels bad, so they're going for Bardock. But the tournament goes on, and honestly, Goku is kind of slaughtering everyone. It's not really a competition on his end. He wins with minimal effort. But when it comes down to it in the end, or simply put, the final fight is Goku vs. Pikkon. There's another way to put it. He slams entirely. Now Bardock at this point has achieved the ability to go into Ozari Wrath, but also he learned all of West Kai's abilities. Not actually learned Kaioken, which is something he kind of learned after observing Goku enough. So he's able to fight against a lot of fighters pretty competently, but Pikkon had actually knocked him out. I'm going to go over all Pikkon's abilities, aside from just being trained by Grand Kai, but the reasoning for it. The reason he's trained by Grand Kai is the fact that he was just so strong, no other Kai could take him. He had surpassed them all easily, and he learned all their skills easily. With this, Grand Kai tried to take him in, and King Yama was kind of overruled by Grand Kai. So Grand Kai decides to train in Pikkon, because he's the only one who would take him on for training. Instead, he get Grand Kai back in shape at least. Pikkon had a match with Flawless Dance and Thunder Flash Dance, or not dance, attack. I think they didn't do say for a second. I haven't danced, it's just something up in Flash. But he also had a match with Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, along with being able to master his magic and sealing. And even though he's not Namekian, he kind of has the design of one and a lot of similarities. So he'd have the biology control of Piccolo, and the eye shift to signify transformation, along with homing attacks. So, yeah. But with this, the final fight is Goku's Pikkon, and Pikkon's eyes would shift to a yellowish color, signifying that he had gone into his Super Pikkon form. Him and Goku clashed fists, and it shook Otherworld. Immediately, Goku just smirks, and immediately his fist vanishes and hits Pikkon right in the face, breaking where his nose should be. He goes a little back when he met with a kick to the face, and then a brush Ki Blast to the chest. Next almost back, power up to its maximum, even using Kaioken on top of it. Goku achieves Auto Wrath, stacking it with Kaioken times 3, and then sending Pikkon flying out of bounds with one big Ki Blast. Goku now laughs and, sorry, you're not that strong, but you put up a good fight. You know, it was end Pikkon, which Pikkon kind of took. Goku's compliment was backhanded, but it was a compliment nonetheless, plus it was just true. But our team Gine congratulated Goku, and it's the way she invited them all to come out of Otherworld. Because, why not? He had returned to see that Gohan had returned to the Ace of Dragon Balls had been used up, but no issue. He teleported Namek, as they were all both being destroyed by Piccolo, but he retained the God Key at least. He just had to learn how to use it without them in his body. And they all got a lot stronger, actually, like the point where they're all comparable to full power Frieza, all the warriors are. But with this ended up with them allowing Goku to use Dragon Balls, and he basically used it to, bring Bardock's team, basically bring, these people back to life for a day, and Pikkon. And he being brought back, and for how long, did actually require all 3 wishes being used at once. And it worked. He returned to Earth and introduced Gohan to, everyone, and everyone got to meet everyone. And Vegeta got to introduce himself as well. They're going to express the princess like this, including Tarbell. But then she ends up revealing as Goku is introducing his parents to her that, I'm pregnant. Goku's surprised, yet not. Now, this does lead into the time skip for a few years. And Pikkon doesn't return to life, but he actually is invited to train with Shinobito after they realize how strong he is and how he's not as strong as most of the Z-Fighters, but he's definitely stronger than a few of them. But he's invited to train there part-time as well. Excuse me. Pause. Alright. So, at the end of it, just by the end of the peacetime, Beerus had woken up, finally, because he kind of had to continue and that was interrupted by Cell and Piccolo. But by the end of Shinobito's training, well, everyone had unlocked their own abilities. As for the Z-Sword, go on and train with it, trying to act like Trunks, and ended up breaking it by accident. Immediately Piccolo thought about, trying to use magic constellation to replace it, but immediately Elder Kai had popped out. And with this, as everyone was kind of worried that, oh, this wasn't supposed to come out. Immediately, Shin and Vegeta that's where he was for all these years. Alright, cool, never mind, he was supposed to come out. I'm going over what everyone had achieved during their time here, because they all had their own abilities. So with this, Piccolo had achieved Orange Piccolo. He unlocked potential, he's even unlocked his own a few times. So Orange Piccolo is granted, but now he even has God Key. He's not as strong as Dragon Ball superhero Orange Piccolo, but he's definitely on par with Super Saiyan God Goku when that fought Beerus. He's on par with that. Roshi, even though he's a part-timer, had achieved Ultimate because of how often he trains. He trains almost every day, and in the time chamber too. There's really no limit on how long you can go in there, but there's no limit on how long you can stay in there. You can stay in there for maximum let's say 7 days. Then if you get out, wait a week, come back. Yoshi goes in there basically for those 7 days, and then, yeah. Then Gohan, but being a part-timer, also achieved Ultimate. But he doesn't train nearly enough to already achieve his Beast form, but he trains enough to maintain Ultimate. Then Tien Chatsu, who lived there full-time, had definitely achieved God Key, and Tien's the only one who achieved Ultimate. Chatsu just doesn't really want it. And by the way, this because Elder Kai did the ritual. Piccolo took it first, because he's the only one who has, the patience to wait so long. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, we came to that, everyone's like, can we choose Dragon Balls to make him young again? And Roshi's like, wait like 3 months, and then they'll thaw out. I'm not forcefully thawing them out again. Shenron got mad at me last time. And that's just for Piccolo having his potential unlocked. So 3 months pass, Shenron thawed out, and they're able to use the wish to basically make Elder Kai to his prime, bring him to his prime once more. And with this, he had more or less been for his peak, and was able to actually restore all of, not restore, but use the ritual to unlock potential a lot more quickly, to say. Goku and Vegeta are part-timers, as Vegeta's focused on training Tarbell up, and then Goku's focused on raising Goten, also training Gohan to unlock his power once more without making him age in the time chamber again. So gravity training is basically what they're doing now. And Pikkon achieved God Ki. Basically everyone did, but they have their own ways of using it. Goku and Vegeta don't have enough to actually use like Super Saiyan God yet. But Beerus says she does start by from time to time, and spars Piccolo, occasionally Goku and Pikkon, all that. And Goku had achieved Super Saiyan 4, but he doesn't have enough ki to actually use it for like long bursts. And Super Saiyan 4 is definitely a lot different than canon. Or not, well, GT isn't canon. It was a lot different than GT. Mainly because he would use his in a different way. Kind of. Now, eventually we do move on to Dragon Ball like the Buu Saga. And here, Gohan is definitely still a Great Saiyaman. I can see him doing it. But also Goten. Goten is also here as a Great Saiyaman, as is Trunks, but also Tarbell. Tarbell has nothing better to do, and this seems like something he'd like. So he's also the Great Saiyaman. Well, he's Saiyaman 2, well, Gohan is Saiyaman 1, Tarbell is Saiyaman 2, Goten is Saiyaman 3, and Trunks is Saiyaman 4, and they're the Saiya team. And they all can go Super Saiyan 1 through 3, pretty easily actually. At this point in base, Gohan is roughly comparable to, like, he's not reaching, like, post-Beerus training levels of ki, but he's at least, like, physically, or, like, basically on par with, like, the Frieza that one-shot his super counterpart. He's usually based on par with that. So, yeah. I think Goku and Vegeta are both about double that without really much effort, so. Now, the tournament, when it comes down to Vegeta, are like, oh, well, by the way, Buu's here already. Roshi just yawned and said, alright, he'll handle it. Tien, come on. And Tien knows what about the tournament that much. He's like, alright, got it. And they're like, Roshi isn't champion. Goku gonna quit after like being 20. So, yeah, Yamcha's still the one who wins the tournament or who participate and win. They're saying they tried to buy him off, but he was met with a swift punch to the chest and got knocked out. Well, if you guys are curious about like what happened to Videl, Gohan is a much more skilled teacher. If you guys are wondering why, he's the one in charge of training Goten with Goku. And he even trains Trunks, as he felt the bond that his future self had with future Trunks. He wants that bond, so he's going to train Trunks as well. And he does that so Vegeta can train Tarbell, which Vegeta thanks him for. What makes Goten and Trunks perfect is not much, but it's enough. What that is pure progress, mastery over their S cells and hybrid DNA, and full control over their Ozaru form. But Goten and Trunks have a fellow pupil, one they've been hiding, and Gohan as well. That is one remaining Cell Jr., who was so terrified of being blown up, he hid. And he came out way too long after, while Gohan was training, and Gohan decided to hide him. Goten and Trunks met him, tried to hide him from Gohan, thinking he didn't know, but then Gohan arrived, like, hey, how'd you guys find him? And then, yeah. So Gohan trains him in secret, and then Goten and Trunks occasionally join in. And he literally has every ability of 17 and 18. As a 16, 16 is kind of just Bulma's bodyguard now. But yeah, so the Buu Saga, eventually Roshi and Tien leave to go handle Buu, and Bulma decides to follow up using her battle jacket with 16 by her side. So in this tournament, it goes on. And in the end, it's Yamcha versus Goku, but Goku allows Yamcha to have the win because he doesn't care about winning the tournament. So he allows Yamcha to win, but he does gain a pretty big scratch across his chest. But he kind of laughs that Yamcha can do that much damage to him already. Yamcha laughs, saying, "Oh, I'm champion for a reason. I train a lot." And Goku says, "I can tell." Now, let me go on to the what was it? To the it's for Buu. So when Tien, Roshi, Bulma, and 16 arrive, they're being confronted by Dabura. He does try to spit on Bulma, but she quickly would just smack away the spit. It's not that hard for her to do in the battle jacket. Since Dabura means absorbing all this ki, and she has all the abilities of the androids in her battle jacket, so demon ki is something she has. So she decides to talk about this demon ki, making him basically pass out. And he has to solo ki to the point where the Majin symbol disappears, which justifies Shin Kibito. The ship immediately Roshi sensed he acted completely, and him and Tien appeared in the ship immediately, and delivered 2 swift punches to their opponent, or 1 to each opponent. Tien to Yakon, then Roshi to Quickly. Babidi was terrified immediately because he didn't know what to do. Because in the tournament, Videl beats Popovich immediately. Because Gohan trains Videl much more efficiently because he's a good teacher. Or Piccolo helps him out. Or Goku does. So Videl's a bit stronger and allows you to beat Popovich pretty easily. Yamamuto tries jumping him to avenge his buddy, but Gohan stops him and then chokes him out with one arm. Now, for Buu's egg, immediately Roshi can actually sense some of the God Ki within it, as he learned to sense it. He looked confused when asking Kibito, "What's your God Ki in the egg?" Kibito didn't even start to sense it. They start sensing it and they realize there's God Ki. They remember that Buu had absorbed Grand Kai, and they realize he's still in there. Roshi thinks for a sec, saying, If I release Buu, I can probably use Force Spirit Vision to separate him, or Tien can. Tien says he can. He picks up Buu's egg, floats his ki into it, and Buu's egg immediately opens. It did take up a lot of ki though. Tien just said that just told Roshi stall him while he recovers. Tetsu had arrived on the scene. The tournament ended quickly. So when Tetsu arrived, he agrees to help stall Buu. So Roshi, Bulma, 16, and Chaozu all stall Buu pretty easily, actually. It's not that hard to do. 16 himself can actually beat Kid Buu. And Super Buu can be handled by this entire group alone. And everyone kind of arrives to watch as Tien recovers, but then Goku ends up giving him some ki, he gets up, and immediately, instantaneously, he would just use Force Vision, separating South and Grand Kai from Kid Buu, or from Buu in general, which does create Kid Buu. One of the Kid Buu started acting a little bit. He's met with a punch to the chest from 16, and his eyes bulge, every jumping in mercilessly. Like, he cannot fight off anyone here at all. Like, Goten in Trunks, in Super Saiyan 2, Kid Buu would struggle. That's how weak he is to this group right now. But eventually, Beerus had arrived, because he was also watching the tournament from the sky, and he asked, what's going on here? Then he saw Grand Kai, and that's his buddy who enjoys snacks. And then they're catching up, and Grand Kai's like, "Hey, Beerus, can you Hakai him real quick?" Beerus like, "Oh yeah, easy, Hakai," and he's gone. Bobby holds his face in his hand, saying, "All my plans wasted." Beerus like, "Oh, I forgot about you." He really immediately just blasts Bobby through the chest, and that ended Bobby's entire existence. And for the Kais that were killed by Buu, who once everyone hears all the guys that have been killed, immediately Roshi summons Shenron because Shenron hasn't been used in a few years. And he says, if you can revive the Kais, he says, give me one upgrade, probably. Not right now. They'll take up a lot of power. They don't have that power yet. So Roshi trains a little bit, just in the time here, just to get his power back. Not power back, but increase his power. And then she would be able to unlock, not a form, but unlock all, his full potential with God Ki. With that, Shenron is now fully godly with Piccolo's help. And with this, Shenron getting upgraded, Shenron created by Piccolo, Roshi can upgrade him now. Piccolo also can also upgrade him too, but Piccolo doesn't really take the time to do that. Piccolo and Roshi both take the time to upgrade Shenron to his full potential, and has only one Dragon Ball. But he can grant 3 wishes that are all obscenely powerful. And that one wish they use is to revive the Kais that Buu killed. And that only takes up 1 single wish. Second wish, they immediately like, alright, what should we do now? Goku thinks for a second and says, how about a portal to like Otherworld where we can actually like just teleport and just walk through it. That portal to Otherworld is established on the lookout. And third wish, Beerus asks for it and says, I would like every Earth delicacy on my world. And says, done. And then he just vanishes. Beerus says, alright, he's like, alright, Whis, chop chop. And then Whis flies him back to his world. Goku immediately just teleport to Whis and Beerus, drive them both and teleport them back to Beerus' world, because this is that easy for him. He'll Kai Kai there. He already kind of established instant admission was kind of slow compared to Kai Kai. But you can just go anywhere you want to, as long as you've been there. So, yeah. Or kind of anywhere, as long as you know it exists, seems a bit more easy. So, once they appear, Beerus and Goku make showering down all his food, and Whis kind of like, oh yeah, Kai Kai, I'm pretty sure I have that ability, I just prefer to travel this way. And he shrugs. Pause. Okay. Now, for about 4 years, I believe it's 4 years between Buu and Super, Goten and Trunks look appropriate for their age, and then Cell Jr. is finally revealed to the group, and Bulma takes him in as well. And he's trained under Bulma in 16, occasionally Tarble, and Vegeta. So, with this, we go on into Super, and by this point, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say about how strong this group is. Goku and Vegeta have Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4, God and Blue, and they can even mix in those forms in Super Saiyan 4, or Ozaru. And they also are able to tap into their own abilities, Goku being able to use Ultra Instinct Omen pretty effortlessly, and then Vegeta being able to tap into a God of Destruction form. Pikkon is very similar to Goku, where he can use Ultra Instinct Omen, but he doesn't really have the body to withstand that. So he prefers to actually go into his Super Pikkon form, or Godly Pikkon form, where his eyes shift colors, and then he has his Pikkon evolution. And Piccolo can straight up just do Orange Piccolo, or Red or Blue Piccolo. So, yeah. Goten and Trunks can both do Super Saiyan 1 through 3, or 1 through 4, and God and Blue, but they don't have evolution. And Bardock Squad occasionally chimes in, because Goku doesn't really training with them. Because they're pretty skilled warriors, and Vegeta doesn't also like fighting people who have the same martial art. So, with that, they're relatively powerful, all being able to beat Frieza, but they're not like canon Goku level. They're more like, I would compare them to like, trying to figure out. I'd flat out just say they're all comparable to like Namek Goku. They're all around that level. And the ones who train at Beerus are Goku, Vegeta, Pikkon, Goten, Trunks, and Bardock Squad. Then with the Kais, we have Turbo, Piccolo, Gohan, Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, and Yajirobe. Excuse me. Roshi also helps train Cell Jr. from time to time. And Videl's also with the Kais. I should have said that. Videl. Yeah, so Turbo, Piccolo, Gohan, Videl, Tien, Katsu, Yamcha, and Yajirobe all train with the Kais. Turbo had achieved Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3. He ended up removing his tail. And he has Super Saiyan God. Piccolo, as before, can use Orange Piccolo, but also Red or Blue Piccolo. Orange is just the strongest. And he can also stack each of those forms of Kao Ken upwards of 300. And that she does allow him to actually become one of the 20 Z-Fighters currently, plus actually gives Beerus a good run for his money. But Beerus at this point is in shape now, so if he wasn't in shape, Piccolo could actually kind of beat him. Like, he can probably beat the Beerus that fought Super Saiyan God Goku for the first time. But Beerus is in shape and actually a bit stronger, so he can't. We'll go on and unlock his Beast form, and then Videl had basically just unlocked Ultimate herself with Grand Kai's help. or Elder Kai's help. He did try to convince Belle to help, show herself, but Grand Kai slapped him back to the head and forced him to do the ritual willingly. The Unchatsu have their own ultimate forms that isn't Beast, but they're still pretty strong. Then for Yamcha and Yajirobe. And for Cell Jr., he basically learned every ability from Supercell 1 to Supercell 4, on top of being able to turn his skin orange, blue, red, and a lot more. So yeah, so for Bulma's birthday party, honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. If there was, I'm pretty sure Grand Kai could calm down Beerus. Or Grand Supreme Kai can calm down Beerus. And then we go farther, and we get into Resurrection F, as the Frieza Force still confidently exists. Nappa has done his best to wipe it out, and in fact, even found a few new Saiyans during this time, but he kind of forgot to tell anyone, to kind of live with him on planet Yardrat. And those Saiyans are obviously brilliant Paragus. He travels the galaxy unabashedly. In certain planets that still have small Frieza Force, influence, he'll plant a few just Cybermen, and then let them have their fun. And all Cybermen are basically tamed. They're pretty smart creatures. They can't really form sentences, but they can understand whatever language you speak pretty easily. And they can all use spirit control. And they're all roughly like, what else? What would they be called? Super Junko Cybermen, or Super Jinkoman. Basically the strongest form of Cybermen, but also super ones, but they're giant and buff. And they all have master spirit control abilities. So cloning, instant emission, things like that. They're not as strong as Frieza, but they're able to beat the Ginyu Force at the bare minimum. They're Ginyu level threats that they can clone hundreds of times over. So they'd probably be able to beat Frieza over time. It would be difficult, but they can. And Nappa is Broly's teacher. But I'm going to go on to Resurrection F, and where Frieza would train. As he trains, though, Frieza ends up getting... Well, first he wants to research, or not research, even just... So, assuming the Frieza Force would still use Earth's Dragon Balls, they get 3 wishes. That's like an auto Fission run just now. Not even like, oh, I know you, I know you know, this is just his thing. So he gets 3 wishes, but they're stronger for the Z-Fighterz. Instead of having 3 wishes because they're friends, they're just a lot stronger. Wishes in this one are revive the Frost Demons. Like the first one, revive Lord Frieza. Second wish, revive King Cold. And Shinra says, you just ask that in 1 wish and I've done it. So immediately Barry Blue's like, revive the Frost Demons. And immediately Shinra's like, alright, done, last wish. Give us all of our forces back? It was like, too much. And immediately Barry's like, revive this galaxy's forces. I was like, alright, enough. And then he does as told. And he then shoots off into the sky so fast that Barry Blue can even track it. But now Frieza Force is back at full power, including the Ginyu Force. Okay. So, the ones who are revived are Frieza, King Cold, and Chill. Those are the Frost Demons who are revived, including Chill instead of Cooler. So when they're all revived, they're all brought into space, and immediately Frieza's kind of questioning what's going on. But to the dismay of Chilled, Ulda, and everyone else, they get told about how the Z-Fighters have befriended Beerus, and the relationship they have with him. King Cold's not a surprise, as is Chilled, but Frieza's the most angry, including that they also Beerus helped them kill Boo. He's like, those fucking monkeys befriended Beerus, the Destroyer, the one who wanted them dead in the first place. Frieza sometimes feels like an angry child until Chill slaps him back to the head. Chill's isn't that strong compared to Frieza, but Frieza just kind of knew better. He's a bit annoyed, and then eventually this led to to Barry Blue, kind of telling him like, "Well, my lord, why don't you just train a little bit? It could allow you to catch up." But he kind of just scoffed and said, "Me train? Why would I do that?" But he kind of didn't buzz the point later on, so he decided to actually train. Hold one more time. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, instead of training for just 4 months, it turns into a whole year. But the thing is, for this whole year, the entirety of the Frieza Force is, well, they're training, so is the entirety of the Z-Fighters. All they do is train. Now, Frieza isn't training in the sense of like, oh, he's working out. No, it's in the sense that he is making sure his grandfather and father can keep up. But they're so far behind him that he needs them to catch up. He's helping them catch up. Shield is by far the weakest. But then eventually they all unlock forms, including, Golden Frieza, Golden King Cold, Golden Shield. Only difference here is that Frieza has mastered his golden form. In fact, he can even tap into a bit of a black aura while using his Golden Frieza form. But when they invade Earth with all their forces, in fact even more forces than canon, they end up seeing Goten and Trunks being the first ones there, and they both look appropriate for their age, like their height, clothes, everything. Kind of how they do in Dragon Ball superheroes. But they're in their Saiyan Saga, or not Saiyan Saga, Saiyan Man armor. We just thought this was some sort of joke, until Trunks would just say, "No, not a joke." And he would do the 2 fingers in the air, like Nappa does, and with that explosion, he wipes out dozens of Frieza Force soldiers. There's the blast, though. Frieza sees dozens of Jinko men jump out, and begin latching on and blowing up Frieza Force soldiers. First one to attack, though, is Tagoma, but ironically, Videl jumps in, blocking the attack. So Videl's the one who fights Tagoma. The matchups go as this: Goten and Trunks versus Frieza, 16, 17, 18 versus Team Cold, Roshi versus Chilled, Bardock's squad, who had arrived, versus Dodoria. They actually climbed out of hell after realizing Dodoria is missing. As Team Cold told them, what happened. So the Bardock squad is leaving hell to go fight the Frieza Force. They turn out to be decent guys after a while. Tien arrives to fight Ginyu, Tetsuya and Yajirobe are to fight the Ginyu Force, Harabol's going to fight Abo and Kato, and Yamcha's going to fight Kui. So, yeah. So Goten and Trunks versus Frieza. They power up, going to their full power, even unleashing Super Saiyan 4 to fight Frieza. But the thing is, they can only hold off Final Form Frieza for so long until he goes all out in his golden form, and he beats them both. He admits it was a tough fight, but even then, it was not tough enough. He got both fingers for your death beam, kind of just peace sign and then just out. That's when he blasted them both. The little blue guy would jump in and do the same blast, sending Frieza's death beam's back and hitting him in the hand, and kind of making him wince. When wonders what this thing is, Del Cell Jr. speaks, saying, like, I'm just claiming he's Cell. He guards in Super Cell and he's fighting Frieza. Frieza does view him as weak until he begins buffing up more and more and more. Then as he buffs up, Super Cell would go all out, because he has every ability of 16, 17, and 18, including the adaptive healing of 16, then every ability listed previously of 17 and 18, including the adaptive supercomputer. But he also has the tail that can absorb DNA. So he's using that to actually absorb Ki and DNA to grow faster as he fights with Frieza, as he also has pure progress. Frieza does too, but not on the level of this thing. So Cell Jr. and Frieza fight, and Frieza thinks he's going to have the upper hand, until Cell Jr. would burst out with a golden aura, it's going to Golden Frieza. But then it has electric sparks, purple electric sparks, kind of mixing Super Saiyan and, well, Golden Frieza. Frieza went into his black aura form, and Cell Jr. kept fighting harder and harder until he went into his own Super Saiyan 4 form, which made him kind of look more like a Saiyan because of just how weird he is. But he would have the little mask on his face still. And then his aura was still golden, much like Golden Frieza, with purple sparks instead of, those traditional blue sparks. This allowed him to land a hit that actually killed Frieza. Like, he actually killed him with a punch on his actually kind of implode all his internal organs. Like, you see just blood pull from his mouth, and then he just collapses. But Cell Jr. at the same time actually collapsed using so much Ki. But he kind of used his tail to sneak over and then absorbed the rest of Frieza's body. He absorbed it all, stood up, and then kind of sat back down, kind of exhausted. When Cold saw his son die and went in to attack Cell Jr., But 16 would arrive and just deck him back into the ground, as 17 and 18 arrive on their own, and they begin fighting against King Cold. Because this is 16 doing it. But as soon as King Cold got up to fight, one punch hits him in the jaw from the right, and another punch to the temple from the left. His face contorts, as then 16 would land uppercut to his torso, sending him flying through the air. This group began fighting King Cold, and they began absorbing his ki with each hit. Well, first he trapped in a barrier by 17, as he absorbs his ki, as 17 can target it now. But in the barrier, we have 18 who's punching him and absorbing his ki, and then 16 can do the exact same thing, and he's doing just that. Pushing damage that King Cold has to do, 16 takes it and then heals, or 18 just completely regenerates. By the time the barrier falls, King Cold is basically back in his base form, coughing up blood, barely able to stand. But then we end up seeing 16 pick up Cell's sword and say, Vegeta told the story of how he beat you and your son. I think I'll kill you the same way he did. So King Cold just say no and have the sword impaled through his chest, and then with the sword being flipping through the ki, it then exploded, erasing King Cold once again. Killed by his own weapon. Meanwhile versus Chilled. Roji's busy fighting him and Kaioken, but it's not effortless, but it's definitely an easier fight. But then Shield was about to go in for a punch on Roji's face, but then Super Saiyan 3 Bardock had arrived and gave Shield most vicious uppercut to the chest that made him cough up blood. Kill sent him flying, and then Bardock would just send out a final Revenger, sending Shield flying back even farther. Shield looks at Bardock and says, "You damn monkey, it's you!" And turns out him at top speeds once more. But Bardock and Roshi both clash with Shield, not even saying a word to each other. They just know they're teaming up and then they'll work together like hell. This duo pretty effortlessly beats Shield in a really hard fight. Killing them will come to pull them in half and then blow up their half. So that ends Shield. Then Dodoria versus Bardock squad. Dodoria tries to attack the downed Goten and Trunks who are recovering, but then he's met with liver blow from Dodoria. Pause. Now, as Dodoria had coughed up blood as Tora had given liver blow, Shugesh would jump from above and land right on him, breaking a few bones, as he's all Super Saiyan. In fact, all of Bardock's squad is in Super Saiyan. As Zarbon walked over, they're holding the two boys, threatening to kill them both. They both shoot out their hands, grab Zarbon by the neck, and with one just quick squeeze, they snap his neck, paralyzing him immediately. Dodoria was surprised that these kids even using Super Saiyan had actually killed Zarbon. But instead of shock, he's going to be dagging this entire group, who will land on dozens of punches. The jumping kind of resembles Sung Ji Yuk from Lookism being jumped by fucking Jesu No, Guang Yu, and Gilgu. So yeah, kind of like that. But then though, Dodoria's just coughing up blood on the ground, and then this leads to just one giant ki attack from the entire group that turns Dodoria into nothing. And Zarbon didn't really get a chance to fight, because Goten and Trunks, you cannot hold them hostage if you are this weak. Now Tien versus Ginyu. Ginyu was looking around, demanding the Namekian, but Tien kind of just said, he's not here, he's training. But how about this? I killed your squad last time, how about I kill you? Ginyu smirked, going for a punch that Tien pretty easily blocked, but Ginyu's confused. There's nothing in front of him. And Tien just said, "No, there is, you just can't see it. You're not that strong." Meanwhile, those who have God Ki can feel Tien's Ki avatar, a giant red one. Then she shifts to blue, as in it just slams its hands down on Ginyu and it's crushing him. He really goes to use change now, but when he did it, it didn't work. It can't get through Tien's Ki avatar. And immediately being thrown in the air, and this Ki avatar would create more hands. But it does revert or go back to its non-God Ki form, using full wish technique and creating dozens of arms, slamming the Ginyu over and over again. Kind of resembling Netero's Bodhisattva. As it basically slams into Ginyu, Ginyu tries to get his bearings, but he can't. His hands keep coming. hand after hand. Until around 8 hands all charge up Kikuho. Or Kikuho. Fuck. I forgot the name of it immediately. Hold up, I think I have it right here in my notes. Hold up. Yep. Kikuho. So, 8 hands of TM's Avatar charge up that, and then it slams in Ginyu, and all everyone hears is just a giant boom. Like a shockwave, also an explosion, and Ginyu's body is just a mangled mess. Tien shifts back down to his normal state, and kind of laughs that Ginyu was just that weak. And he just kicks a lot of dirt over him as like a mock burial. Pitching a Joby for the Ginyu Force, first it's just Chaozu, but then Goldo froze time. But to his shock, well, a Keyblade had appeared out of nowhere, had expanded. Yajirobe arrived on the scene, and when time had frozen, Yajirobe was extending his Keyblade to, make it longer, and it shoved into Goldo's head. Goldo was, meanwhile, like halfway through a punch on Chaozu. But as soon as it hit Goldo's head, he just collapsed. Is it surprised the Ginyu Force? I think Yajirobe would arrive right in front of Burger, and he was going to be the fastest. But Yajirobe appeared in front of him, his sword drawn, and Burger's legs, well, he kind of falls off of them. He yelled in pain, and then quickly, Yajirobe would just deliver one more slice and say, "It's over now. The pain's gone." Jason and Raccoon were a bit nervous now. Chaozu kind of smiles at them creepily, and held out his hands, and then he's like a vacuum effect. Using Spirit Vision and his own absorption ability, he fully pulled out all of the ki from both of these two, kind of turning them into husks. And he said, "So easy. Not really a delicious snack anymore." He sighed. You know how little ki they could give him. Next up, we move on into the next fight for Tarble. Tarble's gonna fight Abo and Kato again, but they're stronger, much stronger. So, Tarble fights them both, and they think, their fusion is going to be enough. It's enough to beat him. But he shows off Super Saiyan, and begins punishing them both in his base form, Super Saiyan form, before they can even transform. They keep trying, but they just simply can't. They don't get close enough. Until eventually, this ends with Tarble, being able to handle him in the fusion when he goes Super Saiyan 2. And with one punch to the chest, that ends both of them. And Gurei kind of cheering from the shore, kind of clapping, like yay, go Tarble. And she's just watching as Tarble has like after images surrounding her, she doesn't get hurt by just random fire, like random blasts. So yeah. And then we go on to the next fight, being Yamcha vs. Kui. Kui's the one who tried to hurt Gurei, but Yamcha had arrived just in time to block the attack from Kui. And Kui says, "I don't want you. I want the Sayanora's wife." But immediately, Yamcha says, "Well, Yamcha has to settle for the wolf thing." Kui says, "Not a wolf. He doesn't look like one." Yamcha growled before biting Kui's face, and Kui had to pry Yamcha off of his head. And all everyone sees is just Yamcha holding on to Kui, biting him ferociously. Kui pleads for help, but no one is really able to help him. They're all kind of being wiped out by everyone else. Eventually, Yamcha does let go, but then he proceeds to hit Kui with the Wolfang fist, severing off his arm. But he follows up with a one-handed Kamehameha, piercing through Kui's stomach. As Kui stumbles around, wondering what just happened, Yamcha then used Spirit Control to grow in size, and then he turned Kui into his lunge. He laughed, returned back down to normal size, and Tarble high-fived him for saving Gurei. Meanwhile, certain soldiers are trying to run away, and one of them is Tagoma. He is terrified. He thought this wouldn't be easy, because, he didn't use star people. At least for this training. But then, immediately, as soon as he gets far enough away, he's confronted with Videl, who just clotheslined him. And Videl has a golden aura. She's a Super Saiyan, but she has Saiyan DNA inside of her. and she began putting the hands on Tagoma. He tried to fight back, but Videl simply just too strong, too fast, too strong, too badass, basically. Then immediately, with one swift uppercut, she had actually knocked Goma's head from his shoulders. Goma couldn't really fight back. He was not able to do so whatsoever. So he pretty easily defeated. She defeated Tagoma pretty easily. But now we move on into probably just the next saga, probably being, I think in manga it's Universe, Goku Black in Universe 6. So yeah, we're gonna go into Universe 6 saga instead, because that doesn't make sense now as I think about it. So Universe 6 saga first. Let me pull up the fights. Alright, sorry about that. Well, the Universe 6 tournament would kick off with, first you have we would have Champa arriving to see everyone training on his planet. The ones who train there most frequently would be Goku, Vegeta, Pikkon, Goten, Trunks, and Bardock's squad. Gine mainly stays there as Bardock's cook. No, Bardock, I mean, as Beerus' cook. So, with that, we probably can move on to just what Champa thinks. With Saiyan dishes, he actually likes them, but Beerus actually has a lot of leftover food, as he constantly would use the Namekian or Dragon Balls, just bring a ton of food to his planet. He doesn't even want, made food, he's like, bring over a ton of food, and occasionally the Z-Fighters will also bring over food if they want to train there. But he eventually does decide that, this one he actually just wants a cook, and that cook should be Gine, or we planet of Dragon Balls. That could be Namek or Earth, but probably Namek. Or, because that's wrong there, probably Earth. So, the stakes in turn are actually a lot more high, as he wants Gine and Earth. And Beerus calls him greedy, saying, you only have one, and she punches Champa in the face and him flying back. Now, Champa can tell that Beerus has been training, so he already knows he can't win this fight. But Beerus is in trouble by Whis for hitting Champa. But this does lead up to a tournament, but it's a lot more organized. And for the competitors, the ones who go are Piccolo, Pikkon, Vegeta, Gotenks, and Goku. Guess I'm right? Gotenks. They feel like they've been wronged by losing against Golden Frieza. And honestly, I have the perfect idea for revenge here. So, the squad: Piccolo, Pikkon, Vegeta, Gotenks, Goku. Now, Gotenks still, Goten and Trunks lost individually, but even if they were Gotenks, they would have lost still. But at least they've been training even harder than usual, even unlocking God Key recently. But we keep moving until we get to the tournament beginning. When the tournament begins, we see that we start off with first just kind of introductions and the written test. Now, Goten isn't the smartest, but also not dumb. Goku also never hit his head. He's kind of a pretty average guy. So, the test, the scores for the Z-Fighters are all, or for the Dragon Team, are roughly in the range of 60 to 90. Pikkon and Piccolo having the highest scores, Vegeta having around an 80, and Goku and Goten scoring relatively low, but they passed. Barely passing. And then for the fights, because there's more structured fight. First fight is Piccolo versus Botamo. Piccolo ended up with Botamo, and Botamo's body was very much like a rubbery substance. Now, Botamo thought it was very weak, so he went into hit Piccolo himself. But since Botamo's rubbery, Piccolo had to have his own form of defense. And that, Piccolo basically just used his bio armor and simply just tanked the blow, without really much damage taken. So with that, Botamo was like, alright, well, I can't damage him now, and that's kind of weird. But Piccolo just kind of clarified, saying, oh, I can damage you, I'm just testing you out. Tom was surprised because he realized that he had it in his head and Piccolo was just reading his mind. I was confused until Piccolo picked him up and just threw him out of bounds. Piccolo was like, alright, well, I can damage you, but this doesn't take too long. So pick him up and just throws him out of bounds. But Tom started to stretch his arms, Piccolo summoned wings, or grew them, and flopped his wings so Piccolo's arms flew back out of bounds as well. And Goku kind of laughs, saying, I haven't seen him grow wings in a while. It's been since, like, the Freezer raid, right? And that leaves Vegeta saying, yeah, I think so. And Pikkon confirms. Well, not confirms, but what he saw from Whis' staff after learning about Piccolo, because they have similar abilities, he learned that as well. Because he has similar abilities to Piccolo, despite not being a Namekian. But now we move on, and we get into the next fight, is Pikkon versus Vegeta. Now, here's where Vados and Champa made a miscalculation. They assume Pikkon is a Namekian. They assume he's very similar to one. He just isn't. So with Vegeta, Vados has the barrier, and Vegeta tries to, sweat out Pikkon. Pikkon just says, you think I'm a Namekian, don't you? Vegeta sounds confused, and Champa says, what, is he not? Beerus kind of laughs, saying, he isn't. He doesn't look like one, and power up like one. He's he's up in Namekian ever since the word, except for DNA wise. Immediately, Vegeta looks a bit nervous and just so Pikkon is insulting him for calling him Namekian, like, you idiotic bucket of bolts came into his reach from his opponents. Vegeta begins cowering in the corner of the barrier, kind of sad that he's being insulted so harshly. Pikkon then grew wings as well, using biology control, and flew forward at top speeds, using his godly Pikkon form. Watching Vegeta cling to the barrier, sending him flying out of bounds. Doing no damage, but the force was great. And Pikkon calls him a fool to finish it off. Next fight is Vegeta vs. Kaba, and Vegeta still considers Kaba, but is a bit more nicer about it. But when Kaba does hard Super Saiyan, he does try to attack Vegeta, only for Vegeta to quickly in base, grab his arm, twist it, break it, and punch him in the chest so hard he knocked him out of it and knocked him out. Goes in to laugh, saying, good hit, Dad. And he would also heal Kaba once the round is over, because he has spirit control as well. Kaba woke up, kind of surprised he was beaten that easily, and Vegeta says, no Super Saiyan can beat my normal state. Well, except for 2 Super Saiyans. And he kind of just looks up to Goku. And the other one would be Gohan. Gotenks and Super Saiyan still cannot beat base Vegeta. No chance. So yeah. Next fight is Gotenks vs. Frost. And immediately, Gotenks says, another Frost demon? How annoying. And immediately, Frost says, I assure you, I'm no demon. Frost? Maybe. He says, oh, BS. We can sense it. And immediately Vegeta says, Frost, using telepathy, we can all tell your mind is corrupted. Just really true colors before he forces you. Frost, having his ego checked, would be annoyed, and immediately summons up his full power. Frost says, no, these boys check me. How ridiculous. And immediately, Gotenks would just hit Frost in Super Saiyan 3 with a very firm uppercut to the ribs and shatters a majority of them. With that, it actually had knocked Frost not out of his form, but into a weaker state. Frost stumbled and then fell to the ground, trying to get his bearings, but Gotenks would not let him. Gotenks is very pissed off, because he's kind of just pissed overall. So with this ends in the defeat of Frost very quickly. Pause. Alright, sorry. But so yeah, Gotenks kind of just wails on Frost until the referee tells him to stop. And Frost is basically half dead at this point. Like, Gotenks is basically a feral dog that Goku had to jump down and pull back. And Vegeta's just laughing at Frost. Champa yells at Beer saying, "You're this bunch of wild animals." And this kind of where Beer says, "Yes, definitely. But the final fight is Goku versus Hit. He's been in the arena, and Goku kind of smirks at Hit. And he can just feel a similarity, pure progress. He can just sense it. And Hit can do the same. Goku's taking a stance, and the fight starts. The fight starts with Goku elbowing Hit, cleaning the ribs. And Hit was not ready for this. Goku had his hand on his knuckles, shoved it right into Hit's ribs, full force. Hit jumped back, holding his ribs, and there's a definite giant bruise there now. Hit didn't realize Goku was that fast. He didn't realize he was just that strong. And in base at this point, Goku had surpassed a lot of characters. In Super, that is. At this point in base, Super Saiyan Blue, like canonical Goku, it's all the struggle with his base Goku. He's just that strong. So Hit was surprised, and when he powered up, even into his just time skip, it didn't really work out in his favor, considering the fact that Goku could go into his Ozaru Wrath state and give Hit a good fight. Hit even evolved his time skip, but Goku shattered it immediately by using Ultra Instinct Omen, and Hit didn't even have time to blink before he was hit with over 100 attacks that knocked him out immediately. Hit slumped over, Goku caught him on his hand, and then threw him into the stands effortlessly, which Kabe had caught him. So yeah. But with this ends with Super Dragon Balls being in Beerus' favor. But immediately, when it comes to that, we have Piccolo who says he can just use magic materialization to revive Earth. With his God Key and magic materialization, he should be able to recreate an entire planet. He's nearly as good as Shinkibito. So he flew to where Earth should be rising. It's still here, it's just damaged. So he would use magic materialization and basically just restore it. And you find Namek, they have Dragon Balls there, and he would just use their Dragon Balls to restore all life on Earth to when they were at their prime. And it worked. Trouble kind of just looked annoyed, but he couldn't do much. It worked. But because Universe 7 still won, the Super Dragon Balls are actually allowed to be brought to Beerus' planet, and now the planet circling Beerus' world are all Super Dragon Balls. Now, by the way, the Universe Elimination Tournament is still set up by Goku and Zeno, because Goku kind of didn't mind his tongue, and Zeno misunderstood him. Everyone realized that Zeno misunderstood him, but they were just too scared to correct him. They can even blame Goku. Yeah, well, they had to blame Zeno, but they didn't want to say it out loud. They were just too scared. And immediately Goku's like, I just had a friendly tournament. What is what's friendly about a universe being erased? Pycon says, it's a child. I don't think he understands what friendly means. So, yeah. But now next up is the Goku Black Arc. But yeah, Goku showed off a lot of power, but so far the one with the most impressive power-up display might have been Pycon or Piccolo. Goku was only in base and then Ozaru Wrath, nothing more. Well, I was using Omen too, but I don't think Zamasu would have known what that is. The ones who had the most noticeable power, though, will be Pycon and Piccolo, and Gotenks was strong, sure. Zamasu can match that power easily, so it doesn't matter. With this, I can see Piccolo Black being the main thing here. Piccolo Black is what's chosen for this arc, and in this one, when he's in the future, how do I phrase this? When he's in the future, it does not go in his favor. Because yeah, Piccolo sure is strong, but every Z-Fighter here will throw hands at Piccolo for fun. So yeah, Zamasu came and accessed Piccolo's full power because he's a strong Z-Fighter in base. This universe has Beerus and all that, sure. Zamasu can access far beyond the base form of Piccolo. So yeah, Zamasu's plan failed immediately. All there is like regular old Zamasu, who's just immortal. But even then, since he killed Beerus, first he killed Shin, which killed Beerus, trying to let them find the Dragon Balls, and then sealing away Zamasu with the Dragon Balls, which worked. So with this leads to, well, not leads, but we have Zamasu being confirmed to be sealed, and then there's really nothing for Piccolo Black, because there's really nothing he could have done in the future. But yeah. Now we move on and we get to the next arc, probably being the Universal Elimination Tournament now. I need to set up fights for that now. Okay, so let's begin the Tournament of Power Saga. First is the exhibition match, where here not all the Z-Fighters are here, kind of just a few that Beerus were like, alright, this is an exhibition match, we can probably just have this group to show off. And Nappa actually reveals Broly this time. After hearing about the tournament and Vegeta recommending him, Nappa declines, but shows off Broly and says he'll do the exhibition match if they need him to, because he can do that pretty easily actually. So with this, the exhibition match consists of Nappa, Broly, and actually Bulma. She kind of got bored of just sitting around not using her battle jacket yet, her battle jacket for a while. So first fight is Nappa versus Basil. Basil does try to kick, his ball key at Nappa, but to the shock, in base, Nappa pretty easily catches him and throws them back at Basil at double his speed. Basil does try to kick them back at Nappa, but once they hit his leg though, he realized they were imbued with Nappa's key, and it blew apart on his leg. Basil was limping on one leg, only for Nappa to blitz him, uppercut him across the face, or up to the face. As he's in the air, he grabbed by his legs, he jumped, spun, and hit him on the ground full force, cratering the entire ring, and knocking out Basil, without even going Super Saiyan, and because Basil was off guard and underestimated the old man. But Nappa has a bit of gray going on, but this little bit right here was kind of just effortless. And then next fight, Broly versus Bergamo. Actually, no, that could be the final. Bulma versus Lavender. Bulma's not really in her battle figure right now, but she actually can have it she kind of has it in a capsule. Basically, if you hit a certain spot, her body will be enveloped in a battle jacket. One kind of thinks it's funny. Broly fights Basil in base, not wanting to touch the smoke on his hands. It's weird. But then Basil actually ends up hitting the spot on her body that actually is the battle jacket because it's in a pocket. It was enveloped Bulma. Immediately Lavender was confused. Well, Bulma just says, "I warned you I had a weapon." And immediately Zeno kind of laughs, saying, "That's so cool." And when it came to I think the guy's name is what was it? He's in Universe 9, the GOD, Sidra. They just to call that hey, it's cheating. And he was like, "I like it," and she warned him. They're going to back down immediately, and Bulma starts up one giant ki blast full of God Ki. And Bulma says, "This is what happens when you're married to Super Saiyan God." A ki blast would launch, and immediately it would blast Lavender through the building or the barrier. Next fight is Broly versus Bergamo. That's the final fight. And as they fight, Bergamo does get bigger take damage, but then Broly would give him one good uppercut that was beyond that he get from. He was coughing up blood from the blow. And Nappa kind of laughed, saying, "That kid's so strong." It's hard to believe. He's image Goku as like Vegeta, with how childish he is. But at least he enjoys fighting. It's truly Saiyan-like. So they continue fighting until eventually it ends up with Broly being able to tap into his legendary Super Saiyan form, but his Super Saiyan form, and with one blast he had but defeated Bergamo. Now, with this, Broly was walking back from the stands, and a little mistake happened. Topo mistook him for Kakarot, as Zeno kind of said, "Oh yeah, a Saiyan warrior named Kakarot or Goku who had the tournament idea." Only Saiyan here in the tournament, the exhibition match was Broly. Well, and Nappa, but Nappa is old. When he jumped down saying, "Oh, you must be Kakarot," and he tried to attack Broly. As we were saying, Broly literally just punched Topo in the chest full force, and Topo heard something crack and just jumped back, not willing to fight anymore because of just how badly that crack he felt was. This led to a fight. And Topo actually ends up losing because he was only in base form and Broly was already in Super Saiyan still, so he won the fight early. So, yeah. But we keep moving until we get to until we get to the Tournament of Destroyers a few days later. At this point, if you guys want to know what the team for Universe 7 is, it consists of Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Pikkon, Gohan, Broly, 16, 17, 18, Cell Jr. Those 10. There definitely could have been other members, but this group is what they prefer. But we're going to the Tournament of Destroyers, where Beerus is actually dominating. Beerus trains a lot more, he's a lot stronger, to the point where he kind of just soloed. So he's done though, he's just sitting on top of a pile of destroyers, kind of just eating whatever he brought with him. He's a little bit ruffled up, but other than that, he's fine. And he can use proper Ultra Instinct and combined with a Kai. He kind of laughs. So these guys are kind of just fodder now. But then eventually the tournament does begin. The actual tournament, not just destroyers. But we get into what was it? Oh yeah, the fights. All right, so first fight that we get into is 18 versus Ribrianne and Rosie. 18 is kind of just walking around scanning fighters and transferring information between 17 and 16 and Cell Jr. And Cell Jr. kind of relaying the information telepathically with everyone else. But Ruby and Rosie try to catch 18 off guard. Well, first they go as their base forms, but 18 with 2 quick kicks pushes them to their final forms because they already know they need to use that or else they'll die or get knocked out. But even the final forms, 18 is pretty easily bodying them with minimal effort. Like, minimal effort. Like, Ruby even tries to charge full force at 18, but 18 quickly would jump behind her with a clothesline. Well, first clothesline her, get behind her, and then put her in a one-arm chokehold. All then with one blast from her hand would send Rosie flying to the stands, like into the stands. Not out of bounds, just into the stands, and she has to stay there now. And then for Brianna, she just eventually just choked out and then thrown out of bounds. Meanwhile, we see 17, who's walking around, and then Kakunsa would still attack him. But he pretty quickly is able to find her, and with minimal effort, demolish her. She's not really a threat to him at all. But she's not as gentle as 18 was being, which is choking out in one blast. No, she charged at him, leaped at him, he quickly just jumped beneath her, and kneed her right in the spine as hard as he could. Pause. Okay, sorry. But yeah, so you basically just need Kakunsa in the spine, sent her flying out of bounds. And she's not getting up anytime soon. And except at 16, he's walking around, and Bacall tries to seduce him. Well, when she tries to seduce him, he just reveals that he can't be feeling those urges. And he says, "I'm just a robot." Bacall says, "Oh, this will be easy then." And he tries to fly at him, knocking him out of bounds. But immediately, he just pulls up a barrier, and she crashes clean into it. He tries to recover, he grabs her by the hair, and just lobs her out of bounds. Just that easy. And after this kind of just led to them jumping the rest of Universe 2 as a trio, and then wiping them out, with really no effort. Yamizu was a bit of a struggle when he used his mission, but 16 revealed he could use it as well, by learning from Vegeta, who is just always a Capsule Corp. Well, not always, but has Capsule Corp a lot with Tarble. And he also trained Cell Jr. a lot, and he'll train Cell Jr. a lot, so he was doing the mission as well, and he would use it, and then eventually he would use it to just knock out Jimizu. Like, Jimizu's like, "Oh, I'll teleport behind 16. 16's also like, "I'll teleport behind you," and then knock you out. And he does just that. So, yeah. The Universe 2 is kind of just wiped. Meanwhile, Cell Jr., he forces Universe 3 to use Anilasa, and what remained of them try to, jump Cell Jr. with them. But Cell Jr. is still in base, will he jump up, and with one quick headbutt, he immediately would just knock Anilasa on their back, and he was rubbing all of their ki, shoving his tail into their chest and forcing all of it out. Well, the rest of Universe 3 tries to jump at Cell Jr., who's just zapping Anilasa, but with one hand, he blasts a single orb that splits into just various blasts and knocks out the remaining members. Once Anilasa is out of ki, it splits back into usual robots, and he just flicks them all out of bounds. Once they're all out, he would distribute the ki to his teammates, restoring what little ki they have wasted. They didn't waste much, but they get amps now. That has surprised a lot of the destroyers and angels, Kais, all that they had members who would do this. And then Beerus reveals all of the robots can zap ki. They had another kid in their universe who was strong enough to actually zap all their ki, to the point where they would die, but he's not as strong as the robots. But his ki zapping abilities are better. Alright, next fight is Broly versus Gonzalez and Damon. Gonzalez is the invisible little thing, and Damon is a little, like, small thing that punched really hard. Broly is wiping out a majority of Universe 4 on his own until Gonzalez and Damon begins beating him up. And Broly isn't really getting hurt, he's just really annoying. It's very irritating to feel. He's also Damon realizing they're not really doing it again. He realizes that Broly doesn't have any injuries whatsoever. And Nappa in the stands points out, like, oh yeah, Broly is like a tank. He doesn't really take damage. Like, remember that battle with Gamo? No bruises. He looks at Broly closely. Oh, those guys are really irritating him, huh? You immediately put up glasses, and Beerus like, what are you doing? He just hands him the pair of beer, saying, use them. And we just summoned his own. This confused everyone, including the ones wearing them, except for Nappa. He says, oh, it's going to get really bright soon. Broly just yelled, stop it, and he went into a Super Saiyan, like legendary Super Saiyan form, and the aura alone shot them both out of bounds. Broly's on the verge of losing control until 18 would jump in, and Majora just tried to attack Broly, but 18 with one swift kick to the dome and had knocked Majora out of bounds. 18 went coming down Broly, saying, alright, they're gone, relax. Now they kind of cheered on Broly, saying, alright, kid, you did your stuff, you're good. And eventually he did calm down. So, yeah. So 18 relaxed. Or Broly relaxed because of 18. Next up would be, next fight is Goku versus the Trio of Danger. So with this, Goku fight the Trio of Danger, Bergamo, Lavender, and Basil. Oh, Basil is just kick a ball of ki at him. Immediately, Goku literally just dodges, and then would kick Basil right in the face, full force, and him flying into Lavender. So Lavender has his hand out, and now he kind of poisoned Basil's eyes. They've been freaking out, Lavender trying to apologize, but they both just face a dual split kick and get knocked out of bounds, both them flying to the other sides of the ring. And Bergamo would attack Goku, but instead of getting stronger from punches, he is met with a single uppercut and is knocked out immediately. And Goku is still in base at this point. He picked up and threw Bergamo out of bounds as well, and that did surprise Sidra that his universe taken out so easily. It's their universe 9 to try to jump Goku, but with very quick usage of Kai, he jumped around and beat them all. He's like an instant admission, just Kai. Now, next up would be Piccolo versus Salnell and Palina. For a tournament, Piccolo basically absorbed all of Namek, as he's like, I'm gonna do this. Like, he's about to leave. He has to leave Namek from training, as he always does go back to training the warrior Namekians, who are very strong now. He also unlocks all of their potential as they train. They have to leave, he gets told about the tournament, and they all want to fuse into him to, make him as strong as possible. When we sound on Palina, they can sense all of Namek within Piccolo. As they charge him, they literally blink using invisible eye blasts, and they're all knocked out immediately. Palina tries to get up, but it's simply just too battered to do so. Palina would fuse into him to make him stronger, but that sounds like Salnell went in for another punch, even with Palina's power. Immediately, this led to a block from Piccolo with one finger, and then the other finger just flicks him out of bounds. And he says, worth a shot, brats, and turns around. Gohan, meanwhile, is kind of just walking around, not even in a gi, kind of just like in casual clothing, because he kind of did this on a whim. Khalifa and Kale attack him, thinking he's just going to be easy pickings. But with one hand, he pretty easily blocks all their strikes with really no effort, even with Kale. Kale's in base. Khalifa's going Super Saiyan 3. Khalifa's going Super Saiyan 3, Kale's in base. And he's pretty easily blocking all their attacks with just his bare arm in base. Khalifa demands to show him what he has, but he's like, I'll show you what I got. You should be shut out of bounds from the aura alone. It's pretty easy, because he's like just dogging on Khalifa with no effort, including Kale. Kale, she does lash out in her Super Berserker form. but going to a Super Saiyan and punch her in the face, knocking her out immediately. As she tumbles back, Polyphone would catch her, and put on the Katara earrings immediately, realizing how strong Gohan is. Kefla is formed, going into the Berserker form immediately, but almost immediately, Gohan would say, alright, well, you guys are showing me apart, so I'll show you a portion of what I can do. And he would proceed to go into Super Saiyan 4. Immediately, Kefla's just baffled by Power, asking if she can do that too. But Gohan just says, no, you don't have a tail. And with one uppercut, he would send Kefla flying across the ring, even punching through the little clock in the middle, and being knocked out of bounds. And Frieza are amazed, because his power rivals the weakest of them. In fact, even rivals some of the mid-tiers. Alright. Alright, now what else? Vegeta versus Frost in Kappa. Well, mainly Vegeta versus Frost. But then Kappa would jump in, wanting to, have a slice of the pie. So as they fight, Kappa does still call Vegeta Master, and Frost calls him a damn Saiyan, or a damn monkey because of the tail. Now Frost tries to use the needle and everything, but that was discovered a while ago. So with this, when Frost tried to use the needle, Vegeta would summon Keyblade and basically just lop off Frost's arm. Frost still in pain when Vegeta cauterized the wound using his ki alone, and Frost still kept screaming. Because now he can't regrow his arm because it was burned shut, which Vegeta kind of smirked at. And it was called a dirty trick until Vegeta would pick up Frost's arm and smack Kappa with it, knocking him out, because, he's poisoned. And immediately Frost is a bit nervous until he's hit with his own arm, poisoned as well, and they both dragged out of bounds and dropped out. And Vegeta kind of just keeps Frost's arms as like a random weapon, which I don't think is kind of funny. Meanwhile, Pikkon is fighting Vegeta and Botamo. They're both trying to attack him simultaneously, but instead he would jump over them and shove them into each other. Then he would actually grab Botamo's arms and wrap them around Vegeta, like then Botamo himself. But then immediately, with one punch, he immediately would trigger Vegeta to kind of release all of his flames and fire, and with that, he ended up burning Botamo pretty badly. As Botamo yells, Pikkon would deliver one kick, sending them flying, and as they're kind of both burst burning, they fall out of bounds by accident. So, pause. Alright, sorry. But he just has them both out of bounds, and it was a rather easy fight, because they're both not that smart. But meanwhile, 16 and Hit are getting up on Jiren. Hit was already trying, so with that, 16 tried to help him, and even learned time skip himself, to make it more and more effective. But Jiren still beats them both, but barely. Jiren's panting and just sputtering. You didn't expect them both to be that strong. Well, mainly 16, but even then, it was a hard fight. So both of them knocked out of bounds, but 16 would quickly beam all the info right to Cell Jr., who would transport it telepathically to everyone else. And immediately everyone kind of just smirked, and immediately Beerus would ask what he did. And immediately, 16 explained. Belmont tried to say that it was cheating, but, we clarified, not really, he's sharing information between his teammates. How is that illegal? And Belmont kind of just sighed. With this, 16 said he could stay in bounds, but he was getting kind of restless. This fight was kind of going back and forth. Now, with that, this kind of ends all of Universe 6, because all the fighters are done for. Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan, and Pikkon did most of it, but Hit was their last fighter. Now we'll move on to 17, who's kind of walking around and kind of taking a stroll with 18. 18 and him look around, and they end up seeing Universe 10 huddled together trying to make a plan while fighting off a bit of the Ride Troopers. With this led to 17 to be up on top of the little timekeeping thing, and immediately we create a barrier around all of Universe 10 and throw them out of bounds. Well, not throw them out of bounds, it kind of holds them over out of bounds while draining all their ki. Easy drains all of it. Once they're all knocked out, he would drop them out of bounds, and he distributes the ki to himself and his team, restoring them all to 100% and giving them amps again. Even to 16, just to be nice. This does a thumbs up with a very stoic face. But as soon as like 16 and 17 lock eyes, immediately Dispo would kick 17 right in the side. But 17 isn't really too phased by it, as he had pretty quickly sensed it and blocked it with one hand. There's a fight between Dispo and 17, with 17's easily winning. In fact, he's much faster than Dispo is by a long shot. Even saying Goten is faster. But he doesn't listen to people who he knows are faster. Goku's faster, Vegeta's faster, Piccolo's way faster, Paikon's faster, Gohan's faster. Even that Broly's faster. But Dispo suddenly smirks saying, "Oh, I'm not going 100%. I'm just baiting you." And then 17's kick right into a portal made by Coquette, or Coquette, whatever her name is. I can just look it up real quick. I have my notes. Oh, Kokoto. Yeah, that's it. Kokoto would basically try to trap 17 into alternate universe or dimension, pocket dimension. But immediately 17 would put himself in a barrier, and nothing happens to him. Even when Dispo runs in, trying to punch it and destroy it, he realizes he's draining his ki by even touching it. And 17 just says, "Do you really think being inside of it is the only way you could drain your ki?" This did shock Dispo, until suddenly the 17 is yanked, or his barrier is grabbed by the one person who doesn't have their ki absorbed, or the third person who has their ki absorbed. 18. She pulls him out, and then once she's out, he would basically just disable the barrier, and they end up kind of doing a fist bump before fusing into Android 35. There's a shock Dispo and Coquette, or Kokoto, and immediately, with one punch, Dispo's launch clean through the timekeeping thing, and it crumbles on top of Kokoto. But Step 35 would catch it, and then throw it out of bounds. Well, that kind of just into nothingness. Kokoto tries to escape, only to be met with one big ki blast that launches them out of bounds and unconscious. 35 then defuses, because it feels weird to defuse like that. Now, Broly and Piccolo fight against Toppo, because Toppo wanted a rematch, and he even trained his destroyer ki a little bit. As they fight, Broly's able to actually, go not head to head, but he fights pretty well. But he starts to lose control slowly, surely. Which where Piccolo would jump in and be helping Broly beat Toppo. Broly can depower a bit, so he doesn't have to go as strong. Oh, excuse me. But eventually, this does lead to the defeat of Toppo pretty quickly, just how strong Piccolo is in base form alone. Like, in base form alone, he can one-shot full-power Toppo. So with this, these two eventually do beat Toppo, throw him out of bounds. And then we see Cell Jr. fighting someone who's not important, but kind of annoying to him. That being Toppo. Not Toppo, I mean Tupper. Tupper, yeah. The guy who increased his weight. So Jr.'s like walking towards Jiren, ready to help fight him. Oh, he's just landed on by the giant Tupper, and his weight is increased to the maximum. Jiren coming in, like, kind of smacking his hands on the outside of Tupper, demanding the giant brute to get off of him. He kind of just smirks until he just feels Cell Jr. getting bigger and bigger, until he's basically too big for the entire arena. Tupper then slides off of Cell Jr.'s back and falls out of bounds. And then Cell Jr. shrinks back to his usual size, calling him a big oaf. Calling Tupper a big oaf. Next up is Gohan, Paikon, 18, and 17 versus Bewan, Kinsey, Zorre, Kettle, and Casserole. Which is not much of a fight. Paikon alone could have handled this, 18 alone could have handled this, 17 alone could have handled this, Gohan alone could have handled this. Once they realize this group started getting up on them, they all hold up one finger, and summon one ki ball. And we immediately see Broly and Piccolo and Cell Jr. jump in, and they will all just do one single punch full of ki, sending the ball flying at that little group of Pride Troopers. And the explosion alone had erased half of the ring. Like, erased it, it's gone. And the Pride Troopers are knocked out of bounds as well. They fall out of bounds, I guess. So, with this, the only person from Universe 7 who got eliminated is 16, and even then, it was mostly intentional. So now we go on to Goku and Vegeta versus Jiren. And Jiren is losing horribly. Because right now, Goku's in Super Saiyan 4, blue. And then we have Vegeta, who's just in Super Saiyan 3, and that right there is enough for most of Jiren's power. Goku wants to be overkill and is basically knocking around Jiren for really no reason. And after about 5 minutes, Jiren's basically unconscious husk, randomly swinging around, and Goku eventually would end it all with one final kick, sending Jiren flying right into the stands, crashing into Belmont. And they win. The MVP is 17, though. In fact, he's basically the one who had absorbed so much ki and distributed it among his team, so they had a lot more ki to fight with. Which is how Goku's casually Super Saiyan 3 blue. But if you guys are wondering how strong Goku is at his full power, which is a lot of powers I'm not going to list right now, he could beat Jiren with minimal effort. Like, low diff would be too generous for how easy he could beat Jiren. He wanted to mess around. But he can beat Jiren at Super Saiyan 3, as can Vegeta. In base might actually be a more close fight. Super Saiyan 3 would just so Jiren feels like he's not being taunted. But, yeah. But the wish is to restore the universes, they're restored, and then they head back to their own universe. And then, I believe, we get the Granola movie, or first Broly movie, but the Frieza Force is gone now because of Nappa doing his own thing now. Because he kind of realized, like, Resurrection F, I'm sorry about that, I'll go make sure my job is more thorough. And he clears out the entire Frieza Force, including Berry Blue. And Charbel did help a little bit, as did Broly and Paragus. A way to keep Paragus kind of just away from Vegeta, he can make sure he didn't learn Spirit Control, he made sure he never did, only Broly did. Even then, Broly's not that good at it. But he can do like the bare minimum of size control. But Broly movie doesn't happen, because Nappa did his job a bit better with Charbel's help, and Paragus and Broly. And then move on into the Moro arc. For this one, though, Grand Elder Kai, well, he pretty easily got a hold of Moro and sealed him away once for all with Beerus's help. Beerus was allowed to intervene. He was just asked, he explained to Shinkan, or first we contacted Shinkan, Shinkan arrived, and Beerus went, hey, Grand Elder Kai wants to help seal away this person. Or Grand Supreme Kai wants to help seal away this person, or destroy him. Can I do it? Shinkan nods. Thank him for seeking approval first. So, Beerus and Grand Supreme Kai set off on their own little adventure to defeat Moro. Meanwhile, Charbel was kind of just distracted on a random Tuesday. So we see Beerus walk over, wanting to get Vegeta to go handle 7-3. When he sees Charbel and says, "Oh, good enough," picks him up by the tail and drags him out. And he sends Charbel after 7-3 and all of the escapees, which Charbel can do pretty easily. He was just surprised to be taken from his house, or his brother's house that he lives in with his wife. So Charbel in Super Saiyan 4 handles 7-3 and the remainder of the prison escapees pretty easily, actually. Even getting a job at the Galactic Patrol. And then after that, we move on to Dragon Ball Superhero. And here we would have the Red Army still existing, because the Z-Fighters don't really clean up their mess that well. They assume after one loss you'll learn your lesson. Did not work. They didn't even clear it the second time. With this leads to Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 being made, but they're much stronger. Much stronger. Like they're about on par with Cell Max. And this Cell Max here is made much stronger because Jiro's extra research. Cell Max is also complete. He's a perfect Cell Max. Which is concerning. So with this, when it comes down to the superhero movie kicking off, when Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 attack, Piccolo is able to use telepathy to read their minds, wondering why they're attacking him, until he telepathically communicates memories, and they realize he's a hero. So they have the telepathy of their own, using Jiro's old research, and telepathy was able to be added to them. When they can tell it's not a lie, almost immediately, they're not enemies. Almost as soon as they're introduced as bad guys, they turn to heroes. But Cell Max is still released, but he's perfect. But at this point, Gohan had sensed it, as did a lot of the characters. So, hold up. Ones who like Cell Max are Gohan, Piccolo, Gamma 1 and 2, Videl, Bulma, Gotenks, Tien, Chaozu, Tien and Chiaotzu, and those are the ones who I Cell Max. And, well, perfect Cell Max. As soon as Cell Max is released, though, we end up seeing Piccolo, or Arch Piccolo, with a blue aura, punching Cell Max right in the face, and knocking him out, which is definitely staggering until him flying back. As Piccolo alone could one-shot Cell Max in this form, with really no effort. We end up seeing Beast Gohan arrive as well, using his Beast Gohan form, but it has a whitish red aura around it. You can find his God Key as well. And when Gamma 2 show off their own power, then Videl would also show off her own golden aura. And she's definitely a strong character. Not Cell Max strong, but then again, she can beat Frieza. So that's enough for this. Gotenks shows up, even using Super Saiyan Blue. Tien and Chiaotzu arrive, all using their maximum abilities. Now Perfect Cell Max, who does have all their abilities, sure, but only the abilities that Gero had on record, nothing more. Their abilities have far evolved, they use advanced technology to make Cell Max stronger. That's not enough to keep up with this group. As once Tien had used his giant key avatar, Cell Max is eventually trapped within it, and then Chiaotzu can drain his key, as he did an avatar with Tien. Cell Max tried to escape, but then Gotenks would hit him with the Kamehameha, and at the same time, so would Gohan, and then Piccolo would use Special Beam Cannon, and one Gamma 2 use their own attacks. Videl would also use Masenko, and Bulma would just charge up a giant ball of God Ki. She doesn't just have a named attack, just giant balls of Ki. And this one is basically a blue ball of Ki with God Ki, so it's basically just a ball of Super Saiyan Blue. She then throws it, and then, just in time, Cell Max launched in the air as his Ki was fully drained. He still has attack, and the shockwave alone, shook the universe. Group kind of does their own celebratory high fives, and then they just return back to whatever they were doing that day. And then after that, we have the Granola Saga, and when Granola wishes units from the trunks in the universe, he is just simply told, "You will not grant this wish, your body will be reduced to nothing." And the dragon, like Trumbo, explains how strong all the Z-Fighters are. This shock Granola, and he just has no hope, so he abandons the wish. And with this does lead to Elec and Gas coming in to make the wish, and Granola already granted it. But then, since Granola didn't want to explain the wish, Gas got his wish, but immediately as he turned around, his body got blown to pieces. So Trumbo turned around, or Gas turned around saying, "Alright, wish is granted, I feel my power." His body was blown to bits across his brothers and sisters. Or brothers and sister. There's only one, I believe. With this, Alec's like, "Alright, well my plan is dog shit now." Granola had watched this go on. He was not surprised, but he also kind of feel betrayed. When was their shock, he killed the heaters just because they were off guard. So now Granola's kind of just in space having a hate boner for Saiyans until Minato eventually quells it. Once the hate boner is quelled, we go on to basically just the end of the story. By the time of the Cell Max, Gohan and Piccolo had far surpassed Beerus. Not far, but they had surpassed Beerus. And then Goku and Vegeta, who are above them, had surpassed Beerus as well. So with this, there's really not much farther to go. It's like a peek into the future. And then in the future, Vegeta is the God. Goku just lives on his planet with the halo over his head, as does Gohan. Basically, all the Z-Fighters live on Vegeta's world with halos, including Beerus even. And Whis is his attendant. Whis does think it's troublesome to have all of his old friends here, but he's glad they're alive at least. Or alive in the sense of the word. But now we end this What If here. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Adios.